Hello and good evening.
I got no idea how loud this song is in the background.
I will.
I got no idea.
I will.
Is
I will
Beethoven,
adjust it accordingly.
is he German?
Wait, what?
Is he
I
German?
think Beethoven's Austrian, actually.
Close
Yeah,
enough.
we're playing the wrong song, aren't we?
Are we? I don't know.
No,
We're
no,
playing the
fine.
wrong. No, this is no good. We
Austrian.
gotta get this out of here. I know what song to play for Berlin by Night. I know what song to play.
I wanted to
We're
do
gonna
the
find-
Passenger by Iggy Pop, but that's
no, we
copyrighted.
gotta play the music of the most famous
Lights in the
anti-Semite.
balcony.
There he is. There it is. There it is. Tell me about how much Wagner hated Jews. Tell me about it.
A lot. Probably a lot.
There it is. So we'll have this play in the background as we start.
You know what? I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
There it is. We're talking about anti-Semitism today with Berlin by Night.
Yes.
We don't monetize our videos, but somebody at YouTube HQ just slammed the monetization button with me saying that.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
I don't care about revenue. I'm not trying to make any money off this shit.
We are here for the love of the game and nothing else.
For the love of the game. So how much do we know about German history?
German history.
Yeah,
Well,
Somewhat.
actually, not a
study
whole lot.
extensively in high school.
Here it is. We have two people sharing one microphone. We've got Victor back for the fourth time, and for the first time on his channel, I'm not entirely sure how to introduce him, his friend Johan.
Yep, Johan. Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
There it is. There it is. They're actually the same person, just sharing the same body.
No, we're both autistic. Like, autistic people are like Malkavian. We have a hive mind, you know.
You see, this is your Malkavian derangements, dissociative identity, and both personalities are present at the same time.
Holy fuck! I
Actually,
am
you know
not
what?
a
That makes
Malkavian,
sense for
I'm a
Vic, doesn't it?
general.
Yes. Okay,
Well,
it's in
now you
Malkavian's
see
nature
over
to
here-
deny being Malkavian.
Now, you see over here, my friend Johan is actually a little child gangrel from World War One. He's
Yes.
wearing a gas mask right now. He looks like a midget death corpse of
He is the
Get
boy.
mine out. I have mine somewhere.
He is indeed the boy in striped pajamas.
Oh Jesus Christ! No, that's World War II, not World War One.
Was a very old
Oh
child.
man.
I mean, what, anyway.
So
So today we're talking about Berlin by Night, which this is a very interesting book. It has a lot, and I mean a lot of taboos in it.
It's got a lot of jank, and a lot of jive to it, and a lot of stuff that is very first edition. Now, I've talked with Intergener before this. We were talking about this episode because, you know, she didn't want to be on, but she had some opinions on it. First edition Vampire was all over the place, and the writing staff was going in 14 different directions. It took all their might to focus on a single story. But then Revised comes out, and the story becomes laser-fine, refocused into one of the best stories I've ever read, where you could not have given me the story of Tremere and Salat in first edition. That just wouldn't have been possible with that game. But meanwhile, Werewolf the Apocalypse had a perfect first edition. No, that is my hot take. Where there was nothing wrong with Werewolf 1E, and it came out and it was so good. And then they bring in all these writers from Vampire, Mage, and Wraith to write Revised Werewolf instead of the people that wrote the first fucking books. And then Revised Werewolf just ran itself to the ground with plotlines that were completely stupid, like the Swords of Heimdall and the Croatan. And you know that I really do not like Revised Children of Gaia, Revised Shadow Lords, Revised Actena, Revised Fenris, compared to what we got before.
I mean, like they follow the profit mode instead of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And there was nothing wrong with the previous editions. I mean, did we seriously have to waste that much time with Children of Gaia 2nd edition?
Yes.
Where it's not the story's bad, but it's how long it took to tell the story in Children of Gaia Revised. You remember just how fucking difficult that book was to read.
It was a very wordy book, but I mean, for Children of Gaia, it makes sense. But the only thing is that, like, you know, there's a limit to like being true to the character of the Children of Gaia. And also, you know, making a coherent book.
And then meanwhile, Mage the Ascension is so far up its own ass, it's trying to screw both Vampire and Werewolf out of their established lore so it can make itself look better. Like trying to rewrite what the Umbra is because the Mage people were pissed off that the Werewolf people got to it first.
This is why it's important.
I'm not making that up either. Like Mage the
Podcast.
Mage the Podcast talked about that, like just how difficult the Mage team sounds in comparison to every other White Wolf team. which is why Meiji Ascension, you either think that is the best book in the World of Darkness, or you think it's stupid, depending on if you played Meiji Ascension first in the World of Darkness. And I think the Valkyries finally ended.
Yes, it has. So, Berlin.
All right, let's get into it. I'm drinking the Snoop wine, the Snoop Kelly Red. I put a squeezed lemon juice into it.
Meanwhile, I am Fianna maxing and drinking a homemade cider.
All right, let's get into this. So, where do we begin in German history? Well, there's a lot to talk about, but let's get to a specific time in media res. Let's begin with 1134. Let's start there.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
The
1134.
Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, one Albrecht the Bear decides that he is going to settle in a place that would become known as Berlin, but as of right now, it is the Northern March or Nordmark. And within 3 years, there was a kindred population. And the first kindred to arrive there would be one Eric Eigerman. This is the only time we're going to bring him up. He comes in, and a vampire hunter called Karl Schreck, a self-proclaimed demon hunter all the way from Vienna, comes to kill him. Karl Schreck succeeds, but then is chased after by another vampire, leaving him with only the clothes and weapons on his back as he runs for his life. Karl Schreck will come back in the story later. In 1244 AD, a little bit more than 100 years later, the next vampires come to settle after Eric dies. One Elise Reiniger finally arrives. She is a Ventru. She comes with her family, and she decides that she is going to establish her own little piece of vampiredom within Berlin. And their closest neighbor, Colin, spelled Colln.
Oh, no, I thought you meant the city. Never mind.
They build their joint town hall in 1307, and it is going to be this. It is Ventru capital besides London, where Mithras is. And everyone there is in Upper Saxony. They control all of Upper Saxony. This entire section of Germany is controlled by them. And then she is betrayed and diabolized by one Gustav Bridenstine. We're going to talk about this man at length.
Oh boy, are we.
And he diabolizes and kills Reiniger and says, I am going to throw my hat into the ring with the Camarilla, and this will be how I set my vampiredom. Now, how hard is it to live with a Ventru?
Not very.
It depends on how much they give you to drink and how much your patience can afford.
So, Reiniger was a harsh but fair ruler. Gustav is just a despot. If his rules would just change all the time, he changed his mind like you would change your socks. Where every day the goalpost is getting moved, he'll kill you just because he doesn't like you. You have to constantly suck up to this man, kiss up to this man. He's the only vampire in Berlin who's allowed to sire. If he catches you siring, you die. But he can sire whoever he wants, namely his ghoul bodyguards, as a means of giving them a promotion. He is not a good person, as you will come to quickly find out. Any kindred who visits Berlin needs to immediately report to Gustav and tell him that they're in town. He is in power for 200 years, and if you fail to report to him, he will stake you, leave you on a rooftop, and let the sun bake you. So, nice. Thank you for the margin.
Saw what that Dracula dude was doing over in Romania and thought, well, that's a wizzo idea, isn't it?
Yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. And of course, he treats the people of Berlin like they're cattle. He doesn't see people, he just sees blood bags. I don't think we learned his feeding type until later. But 1575... he sticks his foot in his mouth when he ends up killing a Tremere who failed to report to him. Do you fuck with the Tremere?
No, and you'll find out why in this book.
Very bad with the Tremere.
Yeah, the Tremere. You don't want to mess with the Tremere. The Tremere, Johan, in case you don't remember who these are the warlock vampires that have magic. What kind of spells they can cast? Any spell, essentially.
I'm very familiar what the Tremere can do. Yeah, and it was that moment that he knew that he fucked up.
He was right the entire time. And the Tremere Justicar, Karl Schreck, remember self-proclaimed demon hunter is back. Somehow, some way, the Tremere found him and embraced him.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Me and Johan were just giggling about that.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, you Colt Mason, you have any flashbacks?
Let me tell you something very, very, very important. When you sire a hunter, they will use all of your powers against you.
But meanwhile, Carl Schreck is a Justicar. So he did what you failed to do, Colt. He kissed the ring, and he got promoted into Tremere.
I didn't fail to kiss the ring. I saw it as a heaping mound of shite.
So he goes over, and he decides that he is going to be the one to discipline and rein in Gustav. Gustav responds by staking Schreck and sends him back to Vienna on a rail, and then tells the Tremere, essentially in a backhanded apology, "Don't fuck with me. I decide what happens in my city." And the don't do anything. This surprised me. I'm like, the Tremere, this is the clan that holds grudges, and they don't do anything to respond to this. And it's because Gustav is so big and so bad in Berlin, which is slowly becoming the third largest city in Europe, that they don't discipline him. It's going to cost too much to go to war with him. So that establishes very early on in the story just how strong of a vampire Gustav is. Because, Kyle, what generation is Gustav?
That's an excellent question. Let me double check real quick.
I'm going to pull up this answer before you do.
I know
Gustav, he is generation 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
The fucker's a Methuselah.
Yeah,
He's a Methuselah.
Yeah, after his Diablo race. So this guy is ludicrously powerful. You want to see that soak roll?
No, stamina 7.
Yes.
What the fuck?
And how many points in Fortitude does he have?
Fortitude. Oh, let's see that. Discipline. Fortitude.
How many?
13 soak die.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So he can reasonably survive punches, plural, from a werewolf.
He could survive my rocket launcher.
It will take Ends the Road 2 turns to kill him.
He can survive Skibbity Toilet.
Yes.
If he doesn't dodge. I mean, he doesn't have much in dex, but like he'd still. But that's a scary fight right there.
So yeah, there you go. You don't fuck with Gustav. This man scorned the Tremere and survived. And keep in mind, the Tremere just needed like an article of his clothing, his birth name, and the memory of his face to curse him. And they don't want to go through the trouble of doing that.
They're just like, no, Gustav, we'll let it slide, bro. We'll let it slide.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, boss. What happened again, boss? In 1618, so another 100 years pass, the 13 Years' War comes in. It devastates Germany. The Tremere try to exact vengeance during this time. But in the local region of Germany, the Venture and Tremere finally stopped fighting. They've had a power struggle going on with the Camarilla for years and years, that both of their books neglect to mention. And they finally decide, you know what, we need to stop trying to screw each other over. The Toreador loves us both. We gotta work together. And their enemies are Bruja and Toreador, Anarchs, and Sabbat that just want to destroy everything. While Gustav just watches everyone who works for him burn and die, he goes in and fills the power vacuum, but with even more vampires that are sycophants and loyalists to him, and cuts into territory that was not his. Former Camarilla Ventrue and Tremere territory. He takes it, he gets away with it. But he looks at a Tremere, and he's getting paranoid. If anything goes wrong in Gustav's life, it's the Tremere's fault. Somebody poured salt in my coffee, it's the Tremere's fault. My shoe blew out, it's the Tremere's fault. This girl broke up with me, it's the Tremere's fault. If anything goes wrong, he, unironically, the first thing he blames is the Tremere.
Based.
And he's looking at them, and he's just stewing. He looks over and he says, I know how to get you, Tremere. You think you have the Camarilla under control, you got the local Ventrue under your power. Guess what? I'm going to talk to humans. He goes over and he talks to Elector George William of Brandenburg. And he goes over and makes Berlin the capital. So behold, I got all the business going in and out of my city. You can't do anything to me now. Huh, what do you think about that, Tremere? And for 300 years, he has set. There is nothing wrong, that nothing's going to happen in 1940. It's going to cause the whole thing to come toppling down. And nothing like that's going to happen. But until then. 1740, the Austrian War of Succession. So the Prussian army goes into Austrian territory in December 23rd, 1740. And Frederick the Great comes in. He does a great job. He dies. And then Gustav comes in and says, hey, you know Frederick the Great? I was the one controlling him, and I take all the credit for everything that he did. I'm actually a genius, and I'm the Ventru that's going to lead Dutchland to greatness. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this bullshit.
And Gustav's outlook on the Camarilla flips here. He stops thinking about the Camarilla and he starts thinking about the Ventru. He's looking at the Camarilla and he's becoming pretty disgruntled with them. Anytime he tries to do something his own way, the Ventru of the Camarilla just have to say something to him. And yeah, he's beginning to think, why are you guys going along with this Camarilla bullshit? We're Ventru. We rule the world. We don't need Malkavians or Nosferatu or the Tremere doing this for us. We can just go and cut ties with all the other clans and do things our own way, and everything will be fine. Because after all, they don't know what they're doing.
Come
we
on,
know what
now
we're doing.
that's ableist.
Yeah, we know what we're doing. We have the big brains. We were born to lead. So he starts going around to other Ventru, and he starts shit talking to Camarilla to them, and the other Ventru of the area start thinking, hey, maybe the Camarilla is just a big waste of time. Maybe we should, focus on the Ventru first and foremost. Keep this rhetoric in mind for what will happen in 1940. So, who lives in I think I accidentally said the answer. What's the vampire that's the most populous in Austria?
Toreadors, I think.
The Tremere?
Actually, no.
It'll be it's the Toreador first, Tremere right after them.
Okay.
Here. A bunch of Austrian Toreador come into Gustav's haven one day, see his oil paintings and think to themselves and say out loud, we think this kind of sucks. Gustav responds by sticking them and throwing them out into the sun. and meanwhile, the Toreador of Paris will look at this and saying, hey, you just killed 3 of our best artists. You gotta pay for that. And Gustav says, well, how about 3 of my Ventru guys that I don't really like, and I just stake them and serve them to you on a silver platter. And the Toreadors say, cool, we got a deal. But we can get set up a territory in Berlin. And we just have to tell you that we're here, and then we can set ourselves up. And Gustav says that's fine, until he begins to realize just how many Toreador are immigrating to Berlin. Now there's an even number of Toreador alongside the Ventru, and he realizes that this is probably going to be a challenge to his power later down the line. Meanwhile, 1806, who controls France during this time?
Napoleon.
Yeah, one little man on a horse. He's coming in with...
Yep.
And he's coming in with...
this is Napoleon the First.
Yeah, with all of his anarchs, too. Where he's got all these Toreador and Bruja anarchs right behind him. And he marches right through Berlin and occupies it, chasing Gustav out. And the Toreador stay because they managed to convince the local anarchs that they too were anarchs. Idiots. And it's not until Napoleon goes to Russia and then loses everything as part of French history that Gustav comes back and sees that, hey, you piece of chicken shit, you turned and ran. We stuck around. And Gustav begins to realize that the Toreador are gaining more and more clout, and it's starting to rub him the wrong way. He calls his right-hand man, where we can now introduce him into the story, one Wilhelm Waldberg, to go out and make sure that the Toreador have less and the Ventru have more. And Wilhelm goes along with this, but Wilhelm has been working for this guy for how long? 400 years, we'll say? And he's getting pretty disgruntled. Because he's seen that Gustav is this lunatic, this Ventru supremacist, that's eventually going to run the entire clan into the ground and destroy the Camarilla. The Camarilla is a good thing. You shouldn't want to destroy this. The only reason you have Berlin is because the Camarilla are helping you out and sweeping up all your mistakes. So he gets an idea. He is going to find a way to screw over Gustav, but it's not going to be today. Just when the right opportunity comes around, that'll be it. And the Sabbat comes.
He's gonna play the long game.
He's gonna play the long game. And when 1848 comes around, the Sabbats enter Berlin. And Wilhelm looks and says, "Nope, you're not the scheme. You're not the scheme. I'm not going to use you to overthrow Gustav because it's the Sabbat. if the Sabbat were going to accomplish anything of what happened already, as much as I love the Sabbat, as heavily biased as I am towards the Sabbat, I do have to admit that these guys are idiots. These
That
guys are
is
just,
true. They are.
Well, I mean, I left them for a reason.
They're just the jihad is like you're not killing elders fast enough. The Sabbat come in and you can't kill Gustav. How many members of Sabbat are there in East Europe right now? And you couldn't rally a defense on an offense on this. So shit, right? Okay, we fast forward on the story. 1866, the Franco-Prussian War. 1870, I got my wars mixed up. 1866, the Austrian-Prussian War. 1870, the Franco-Prussian War. And in both cases, it's Gustav coming in, stealing more territory from the Tremere and Toreador after their side loses the war. Gustav is beginning to balloon in power. He's beginning to get comfortable. He's thinking, the Toreador can't challenge me. The Tremere can't challenge me. Nothing is ever going to challenge me. I'm just going to be fine. Meanwhile, in 1902, guess which clan that Wilhelm discovers has been under Berlin this entire time?
The Nosferatu?
Yes. The Nosferatu have been under Berlin this entire time, you schmuck. And Wilhelm goes over, forms a deal with them. He says, hey, I got this big stack of cash. Would you like for us to work together and help me overthrow Gustav, and I can get you into power, and you can be my right-hand man? And the Nosferatu take the deal. And so they start going around, getting all this information that they're going to feed back to Wilhelm. Wilhelm tells this to the Camarilla. The Camarilla starts secretly backing Wilhelm, while Gustav has no idea what's going on. I mean, after all, a guy works for you for 400 years. You trust him. Can we see that employee record? How many times has Wilhelm been written up? Oh, that's right, none.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's just hanging out with Gustav.
And this goes on for years and years until 1914. What war happens during this time?
World War
the first one.
Yeah, the first one. As, behold, Gustav is looking out and thinking, oh, well, that ain't good. I sure hope that doesn't affect me. And he's thinking of this because I accidentally forgot something. You want to know why Otto von Bismarck stepped down? It's because of Gustav. Where
fired him.
Yeah, Gustav ran over to Bismarck and said, hey, I'm a vampire. You want to be a vampire too? No? Well, I'm going to dominate you into losing your mind, pissing your pants, and shitting your pants in front of your men to the point where I have to step down. And every Venture was looking at him going, what the fuck did you do?
No, that was Otto von Bismarck. Oh, Otto von Bismarck, sorry.
Yeah, but he got that Bismarck to step down. And every Venture is saying, you know what, we're just going to go ahead. We're just going to throw the towel in, throw in the white flag. It's over. Bismarck is out of power. We're not going to win this war, boys. It ain't going to happen. And Gustav is just sitting in Berlin going, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Meanwhile, America enters the war. Huh.
What the fuck is a kilometer?
And not only do the Americans come, but Ravnos and Bruja Americans sneak on their ships.
Cool.
Yeah, the Ravnos come into play in this book. And both those clans do as they do.
We are going to steal.
They go in, they start stealing Venture's shit, they start coming in, causing all this calamity. And Gustav, who was going to rally the defense of Berlin, loses focus after he realizes that that Bruja and Ravnos are in his backyard. And then a year later, Germany surrenders. Great.
Good job.
And these Bruja then run out of Berlin and run all the way over to Russia and say, hey, are you a communist? I am too, but I'm American. Let's team up. And Gustav looks over and goes, uh-oh. Camarilla, can you help me out with this growing communist threat? Oh, what's that? I'm being fired from being a prince? You can't do that to me. But as it turns out, the Camarilla comes in and says, oh, no. We've been backing Wilhelm. He has more money than you. He has more embraced vampires than you. He's got more resources than you. He's got more territory than you. He's the prince now. But we're going to call you the prince, Gustav, in name only, while Wilhelm makes the decisions. Can you imagine any other way to chap a Venture's ass than that?
We give you we give you the position of council member, but you do not gain the rank of Jedi.
The rank of master.
It's essentially
Thank you,
Prince
Ryan.
Charles is what they're doing. Where Prince Charles is King Charles, but you have no power. We just call you the king, but nobody actually respects you. And for years and years, Wilhelm is trying the best he can with Weimar Germany. I mean, that's a losing hand you just got handed. What did the Weimar Republic look like during this time?
Well,
Not good.
Well, I mean, it started out, it was kind of neat where we had jazz and then a lot of sex. And then they started to hyperinflate their currency because the economy crashed and we couldn't afford to pay all the war debt.
And what was there? There was one story that came out of Weimar Germany. There was this guy that had a wheelbarrow of German marks, of Deutsch marks.
Yeah.
And he goes to a bread shop and he says, "Here, I got all this money. I need to buy just one loaf of bread with this money. Is this enough to cover it?" And the shopkeeper says, "I'm sorry, that's not going to be enough money." And he steps back outside and he finds the stack of German marks on the sidewalk. Somebody stole the wheelbarrow and ran off with it.
Yep.
That's how useless the German mark was.
I would have just traded it for cigarettes at that point.
Reichsmark bill. Yep.
Yeah, you had people burning money during that time because it was just fucking useless. You had people sitting on bread lines, and everybody was saying, "Oh, it was those Jews or gypsies or homosexuals during the war. That's why we lost. We could have won that war. It's definitely not like that was a losing hand where the writing was all around the wall after America got in the war. You think you could have fought an entirely new group that just WWE'd hopped into the middle of the ring after you fought the war for that long?"
I think we could have blitzed Paris at least.
You could have blitzed Paris. It was just a war of attrition by that point at the end of World War One. England bombs you, you bomb England, and that's it. That's as far as the war goes because both of you are just exhausted and spent.
Well, I was in World. I'm role playing right now. I was in World War. At least if we ignored Belgium and just went after France and Russia, not letting England join because we attacked Belgium for no reason.
Yeah. See, hello, Storyteller. Speaking of WWE, he's jumped in.
The Mage Man.
Yeah, I heard you was talking vampires, brother. So I need to come in here.
Okay, Jesus, you're repeating the mic hardcore, man.
Always rise to the top.
We'll put a loud warning in the video.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And there we go. So yeah, Kyle will get his levels right in a minute, but
I was not prepared for that.
Me neither.
You see, I have everyone down to 8% on my Discord.
Clearly, that's where you went wrong with me.
58%.
Yeah, it is as
79.
So yeah, we're currently in the middle of Weimar Germany,
Nice.
and one Austrian painter decides that this government sucks. He goes into a bar, he shoots a gun into the ceiling, and he says, "I'm going to overthrow the government." And then he gets arrested, and then spends some years in prison, and he writes a book on toilet paper called Mein Kampf, and then it sells really well. And he decides he's going to run for office, and then everybody loves him. What's that man's name?
I'm sure his name is Charlie Chaplin. We're talking about the guy with the funny mustache, right?
He stole that mustache. He stole that look.
Adolf Hitler. Well, yeah. They know it's like Charlie Chaplin was at the okay. The little shit with the mustache that painted like crap.
Yeah,
and had one testicle.
Yeah.
His name was Adolf Scheckelgruber.
And Nick Fuentes would tell you that he was a brilliant painter and he loved dogs. And he was a vegetarian.
He was actually a vegetarian.
Who doesn't like dogs, honestly?
As if that's going to make him a better person. But just
no, it doesn't. If anything, it damns all
I killed 7 million Jews, but who doesn't like dogs?
Well, I like Jews and like dogs. I'm not gonna say, Kyle, go to that nice looking field.
Yeah. For all of those in the audience who are unfamiliar with this channel, Kyle is very, very Semitic.
I don't say very Semitic.
He goes to Torah every Sunday. Yeah.
Shalom.
Yeah. He does not work on Sunday. He doesn't answer the phone. He doesn't cook. He doesn't clean.
I don't drive a car, and I sure shit don't fucking roll. Summer Shabbos. I pulled up with the fucking dude Lebowski, so now now we gotta move on from this.
I can't. Okay, step out to reality. Okay, 1933, January 30th, 1933, when Adolf Hitler becomes Chancellor of Germany, and on March 23, him and his Nazi party take over Germany, essentially. And you've got all these rockets and the cars and all technology, and everyone wants to do business with Germany. You've got, he's talking with Joseph Stalin and saying, hey, Poland sucks. It's not a real country. We're going to take it over. And then Hitler goes and takes over Poland without telling Stalin, and that breaks down the relationship. And you are familiar with our Russian communist friend Fox?
Yes, I am.
And me and him talk about this period of history a lot. And
yeah, because it's him bragging about the one kind of good thing that the Soviets did during that time.
Yeah, well, thank you, Soviets. You have one dub. You have the one dub.
You threw
just
about
like
a couple million people into the grinder war, and it worked.
Just one tally mark next to about 500 nopes on the other end.
Basically.
He tells me about this period too.
I think Rapwood would disagree with this. Yeah, I kind of low-key wanted him to be in the episode because it would just be so funny for a Polish man to be so furious in this episode.
Let's get Rapwood talking about the worst part of this.
He's sitting here swearing at Germany the whole time, as is his right.
Yeah, like he's just fuming right now. Like, fuck the Soviets! Fuck the Germans!
The Germans! Let me tell you about those Germans!
There we go.
Grandpa, you can't say that no more!
That censor bar was so good, Story. That was great. Holy shit. No,
so Ryan, how many countries wanted to do business with Hitler during that time?
I want to say not many.
Everybody wanted to do business with Germany. The Americans wanted a piece of it. The Mexicans wanted a piece of it. France and England especially, where the reason they got into World War I wasn't anything to do with the Holocaust, wasn't anything to do with some moral evil. It was because you're an empire that's going to take us over and stop us from taking over the world first, is what it boiled down to. Winston Churchill, as Fox tells me, was nobody to cry about, and he had it coming, because this was a man that wanted to work with Adolf Hitler before the war started.
Yes, that is partially true. He did want the Germans to attack the Soviets first, you see. Dismantle the communist menace before they could have a chance to inflict the terrible ways and the immoral practices of government on the liberal Western democracy, yes.
But as it turns out, Germany didn't have you in those plans, and that's the only reason they went against you. And how fucking quickly France folded, where Germany just came in, took them over, and everybody wants to say, "Oh, there's such a dark period of French history." No, the French were perfectly okay with their German occupation. Where,
I don't know about that.
But when I was in school, they wanted to blow up the idea of Little Paris in the United Kingdom so much when France had a refugee crisis. But no, that was only a small fraction of French people. So many French stayed behind in their motherland and just let Nazi Germany control them during that period. And it has entered the call. We're talking about Nazi Germany.
Hello. And you entered at the right time. We're getting to the fun part.
Ryan, can you tell me what a Volksdeutsche is?
I'm older to know what that is.
That is German people.
Someone of German ascent.
Yeah, that's.
I gotta say, I haven't done any research into Nazi Germany.
Well, you got a clean search record. You got nobody to you. So what a Volksdeutsche is that it was a German man that was living in a country that wasn't Germany during this time. And Hitler was telling them, "Oh, just come on back home. Just come on back, and we'll teach you all to be German. We'll give you some money. We'll give you these government programs. And then you come back and you're treated like a third-class citizen, and then you're put on the front lines so you can die, so the other pure Germans, quote unquote, can survive and take over the world. And at the end of the war, hypothetically, where." This is not a good country to live in. This is the darkest period of American history, where this is the man that changed the world for the worst, and nothing will ever get better ever since he made his decisions.
Yep. I retract my statement.
I think we're going to say that a lot through this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least we all take L's and realize, like, wait, oh no, wait, what the fuck?
Yep.
And yeah, this, and speaking of which, who were the 3 people that helped Hitler the most? One, Goebbels,
Goebbels.
Himmler, Goering,
and Mengele.
and Mengele?
Yeah.
Not Goering.
See, who gives a shit about him?
Well, there's there's.
Oh, he's a fat ass, and he could probably be used as a bowling ball.
Yes.
No, you're right. He was captain of
We're gonna be making a lot of
he was Grand
Goering
Marshal
fat
of the
jokes.
Luftwaffe. Couldn't even fit in them planes, bro.
In 19...
You would need an extra large bomber.
In 1940, while this is going on, World War II is in full swing, and Gustav goes over to Hitler and says, "Hey, you want to start a dinner club?" And just on Hitler's schedule, it's a Friday. I guess with Gustav, and then me and him are going to go and play bowling on Sunday. And then Monday, we're also going to have another dinner, and we're also going to invite Gustav to this event. Cardinal Houses of Europe wanted to sweep part of this book under the rug, saying that the Holocaust was entirely human. No, this book goes out and says that this was the Venture who's laying this. The Venture were behind the Holocaust the entire time.
But
also, you mentioned in the Fondy and the NWO episode.
Well, the Fondy didn't necessarily do the Holocaust, but they profited off of it.
The book also says that part of his plans were getting wrecked, and he suspected mages and demons were interfering as well.
Yeah, because then the Fondy came in and ended up derailing it, where it went from we're going to kill a specific group of people to we're going to kill everybody.
Yeah, everyone had a slice of this pie.
And Kyle, you remember who the Fondy are, right?
Aren't they like blood vampires or some shit?
Nah, the Satanist wizard.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got them mixed up with the Bali.
Well, the Bali are them, but better, because at least the Bali believe in something.
I think the Nefandi and the Bali would get along until the Bali realized they were a little too far gone, even by their standards.
Yeah, these guys worship the idea of evil, and were using the dead souls of the Holocaust to fuel their spells. Yeah. That's what Germany was looking like during this time. Meanwhile, a complete non sequitur, the Geofenris come into the war.
It's our boys.
Hey!
Hey! They're like, oh, what? There's this whole country
immigrant
that's all
song
about
from
fighting.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, let's. This entire country that's going to war. Hey, what did the Geofenris do?
They're like, oh, war? We like war. How do we join?
We're having a war.
Oh, what? They had a civil war.
Did someone say war?
Did somebody say war?
War, like the Rottweiler from over the hedge.
That's exactly what the Geofenris are doing. It's time to play. It's time to war. Hey, what are the Swords of Heimdall doing?
They said, they want to do what now? Kill all the people that aren't like them and establish a pure state? Well, if we say yes, then do we get to fight? Well, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. I hate these people then. Let's fight.
Which resulted in the Geofenris going to civil war with itself. But in the middle of the fighting, both Nazis and Allies, one gangrel, who we are going to get to later, Edin, comes in out of nowhere. His Geofenris just cut a path through Berlin. What are they on? Neither. They're fighting for themselves.
Yep.
And they go all the way over to, what's this place called again? Grunwald?
Grunwald.
And they say, hey, this is our territory now. You're going to stay out of it. And everybody says, sure. Are you going to keep fighting us? No? Okay, fine. It's yours. It's yours. Take it now. We don't want it.
Title page for Sergeant Rage and his killer commandos at this time.
Sergeant Rage. Sergeant Rage has entered the chat.
Yes,
I've been looking
has.
for that guy's image for so long.
Propaganda. The Giga Chad.
You have a saved copy of the Geofenris on your computer,
yes,
right?
I do, and it is the hardest comic I've ever seen, and I wish there was more of them.
This is one of our most treasured possessions, is the Geofenris first edition.
I love this thing. It's so good.
It's such a good, but I go back and read this every now and then.
Post it in story.
Yeah, I'll upload it in. I'll put it in studio notes.
Story? I'm in studio. That's my bad.
Yep. Let's see. But what else was going on around this time? You remember that I brought up one Joseph Mengele? This is what he was up to. Project Werewolf, where they took a test group of vampires, werewolves, and changelings, and the same thing that they were doing in Auschwitz, they did to them, but with worm corruption. And how they were feeling with it. So the lupines were brought in and experimented on. Majority of them died because Mengele played with them a little too hard and they fell apart. Himmler and Göring were looking at this and thinking, that's cool. So that's how you kill a vampire? It's silver weapons? Oh, thank you for telling us that. Check. We're going to see about getting some silver. 2 werewolves survived. Keep in mind, most of these experimented on werewolves, silent striders. So this is the reason why the Silent Striders hate the Gefenris to this day, because they let them get tortured to death by Mengele, Göring, and Himmler. And only half of them survived, and the ones that did survive would go off to become either Black Spiral Dancers or the deranged Ronin that you cannot reason with. Every fairy that was brought in died of banality.
Oh, you don't fucking say.
And no information was collected on them. Nothing usable.
Well, yeah,
I have
they
a question.
died
Did
immediately.
Göring sit on one of them?
They all died because of just how boring the Holocaust was.
Oh, that's the one.
We have
the ones that were
constructed the
fighting enough.
worstest torture imaginable, even for your disgusting little fey creatures. You can do whatever you want. You can't break me. Just enters into a bland white room. No, please, no.
Well, no. See, here's the thing. It's like at least the red caps. At least the red caps were probably enjoying themselves when they were just like lining people up and shooting them. But then once they started to like the manufacture of death of millions, then it was just banal to the core.
See,
You have made boring the most interesting thing about living. You are true monsters.
So yeah, I'll like to thank Intergener for putting this scene back into my mind. I think we have a visual depiction as to what this looked like. Let's see. Let me go ahead and copy image, paste the image into your notes. Yeah, this is what it looked like.
You're a monster.
Oh, yummy! Yummy!
God
I would eat that.
Damn it.
I love that scene.
It is one of the best scenes in Shrek.
You can't catch
Not
me. I'm
the
the gingerbread
buttons.
man.
No, not the buttons. Not the gumdrop buttons.
You had Himmler lean over saying, so you will tell us the location of the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man. Yes, who lives on Drury Lane.
We should not be having this much fun talking
Talking
about
about
the
the
Nazis.
Holocaust.
Honestly, this is
Nazis.
But here's
And
we're doing it right because like
Are
you gotta
we
bring
the
like some
baddies?
dark
I
subjects.
don't know.
someone's gonna get canceled.
Away.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're trying to find the location of what from the werewolves.
The vampires. Oh, only 2 survived. My ribs are hurting. Only 2 survived. Everyone else went to torpor. And Wilhelm Waldberg discovered them. And Mercy killed both of them after interrogating them. Now, we're not told what will happen if those vampires exit torpor, but it's enough for Wilhelm to bury them under Tusvelberg. He doesn't even try to kill them, he just buries them and gets them off his hands as soon as possible. So it's implied that something really evil will happen if they awaken. Hopefully that never happens.
Hopefully.
So we know how World War II pans out by this point. The Allies win, the Germans lose again. And 1948, America and Soviet Union both come in and say, hey, we own this country now. Uh-oh, you own this country, I own this country. And they both start fighting for Berlin and the rest of Germany. It's split down the middle. November 30th, 1948, it's recognized as 2 different countries, and they set up the border, and Gustav finds himself on the wrong side. He's on East Germany, East Berlin. Uh-oh. I want to be in West Germany. I want to be in West Berlin.
Get revenge.
And he's looking over and saying, Wilhelm snaked me. I found out who it is. He snaked me. He's the reason I got nothing left. I'm going to go over to West Berlin to kill him. He tries to cross the, what was that, ground zero border called again?
The Berlin
Berlin Wall, I believe.
Yeah, but before it was the wall. It was called something else, wasn't
Checkpoint Charlie?
Yeah, I think so. When he,
I don't know.
When he tries to cross it, he is machine gunned down by normal people and almost dies and has to be dragged back by a Bruja. I believe his name is one Friedrich Krauss. who drags him back, saves his life, and Gustav tells him, "Oh, I have a life boon to you now. We can rule East Berlin together." And then Gustav would go on to snake him and kill him. Yeah.
And he wonders why he ended up in East Germany.
Yes.
Yep. Fucking slime ball.
See, meanwhile, in West Berlin, you've got Wilhelm who realizes, "Oh, I'm stuck. I am now completely surrounded by communist and Sabbat. Not only Sabbat, Bruja Sabbat, even worse."
Ew.
Yeah. And he's trying to figure out how to escape, but nope, walls have closed in, you can't leave. Nosferatu, do you know a way out? No, there's no way out. We actually are just stuck in West Berlin. Ah, shit. And so they're sitting there. One Dieter Koldtlar comes into the story, and Kyle, if I'm remembering right, this man's a Bruja.
Which one?
I think it's Bruja.
Oh, Dieter?
Dieter, yes.
Dieter is indeed a Bruja.
And he comes in and he says, none of this would have happened if we had our way during World War II and Hitler was still alive and the Nazis were still around. And he comes out and he's the Nazi Bruja. And he goes around to all the other Bruja and convinces them to be Nazis. And you got Wilhelm looking at this going, uh-oh, am I in trouble?
Yes.
I think I'm in trouble. And things get even worse when in the craziness of the World of Darkness, as it turns out, Heinrich Himmler survived the events of World War II.
You mean Ferret Face.
Yeah,
the biggest Tremere L in history.
Yeah, he gets embraced by Clan Tremere. Why they would do that, I don't know. Why'd you do this?
Experimenting on people and said, "You know who we need? That son of a bitch."
That guy, and he defects to
Tremere. I'm after Hitler.
He's the one guy we need.
Basically, I'm going to leave Johan to his own vices because, nope.
As not only that, but with Operation Paperclip, the American government comes in, discovers Heinrich Himmler. The American government knows that vampires are alive to just keep it secret because it benefits them. He gets pulled over to America after he shares everything he knows about vampire society to the American government. They then repay the favor by flying him out to West Berlin and airdrop him into the city. I'm not even kidding you.
They just give him a parachute and say good luck.
No, they drop the coffin into the city. And this guy says material.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. It's what he wanted after he told the American government everything he knew.
You know, they could have just actually been the good guys and, killed him, which would have been the sensible
you're talking about
thing
America
to do.
and the world of geopolitics.
I'm willing to bet the NWO was involved as well.
Would you like to go to Germany with me to have a little conversation with him?
I think I might, actually.
And he lands next to Dieter Kottlar, and he says, "You're the Nazi Bruja? Well, guess what? I'm an original Nazi. You're just a poser. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And then he proceeds to teleport over to East Berlin, where he then meets up with Gustav, and Gustav says, "Hey, you're still alive? Cool, let's partner up." And there we go. So they still... Dieter and Himmler still work together to form the final Reich. We'll talk about them later. But they don't think highly of each other. Not at all. And Gustav thinks Himmler's on his side when really Himmler's just snaking him and feeding every bit of information he knows to Dieter so they can stab both the Venture in the back and then take over Berlin for themselves. So Wilhelm is over. The walls are closing in. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do. Gustav is trying to send assassins across the Berlin Wall. Most of these assassins are Bruja that are using celerity to immediately dash past the guards so they don't get shot. But each one of them dies. And then Gustav begins to think, well, why? How does he keep finding out about this? How does he know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it every time? And then he begins to realize, oh, it took me this long to discover Nosferatu. Because as it turns out, the Nosferatu just turn invisible and walk right across the border.
Obfuscate, baby.
It's that easy. In 1916, Gustav goes over to the Soviets and says, hey, you should build a wall. And the Soviets say, that's a good idea. And then they build the wall.
I think he said 1916.
Yeah, 1916.
So 1961, sorry.
The Nazis have time travel technology.
We'll go back in time and build a wall. And so 1961, they build the Berlin Wall to keep the Nosferatu from crossing over. That's the reason why that wall's built.
And then they realize, wait a minute, there's like a whole network of sewers down there.
If the Nosferatu want to learn something, they're going to learn something. It's not going to stop that.
Or
just putting up a wall just makes me want to see what's on the other side harder.
Gets like a pigeon or a rat and goes, "Hey, go over to the Tremiro, go over to the other Nosferatu on the other side of the wall and tell them this. You got it, boss." And then they're over there.
It's not as strong, but it's infinitely more useful. Animalism over dominate. That's my vampire hot take for you.
What's that, boy? Hitler's at it again. Well, let's go stop him.
Fucking Nosferatu super friends.
You got the Nosferatu Aquaman down the ocean.
By summoning a giant sea turtle.
Nosferatu Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy!
That would be the gang.
Did you know that Hitler loved Mickey?
Did he actually?
He loved Disney. Like what was it? He actually believed if he won the war,
he can make his own animation studio.
Yeah, to rival against Disney.
Yep.
I mean, good luck with that.
They didn't have Star Wars in Germany, now did they?
Before he even won the war.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's why you don't bet against the Walt, guys.
Do you think that if we lived in a Wolfenstein timeline, that Hitler would have his own late night show?
I think actually no, but
he'd be too.
You know who would? Either Goebbels or Goering.
Yeah.
Hitler would be too old.
Oh,
he's losing his mind in our timeline.
Well, you see who's our current president. So where's your excuse?
Orange.
Donald Trump, but right now it's Joe Biden because Donald Trump.
8 more days.
Was like
8 more days.
A week ago.
And let's see here. And there's this outrageous claim in the book that this back and forth between East and West Berlin, that 20,000 Caine defects to West Berlin. What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean? What the fuck? They realize that communism sucks.
No, 20,000 in this one city.
200,000.
Yeah, 200,000 in one city.
Well, fuck me, that's a lot.
That says even more after trying to.
Hold the fuck
That
up.
is communists just left in that town. You guys are making a big mistake. Communism's gonna totally work out. You're gonna be slaves and stuff.
I'm
the population of Berlin in 1960 was 3.2 million.
Yeah,
so 200,000 Caine. That is like 1% of the population.
You expect me to believe this shit. James A. Moore wrote the book. God rest his soul, the man died. He did have good work. This is not his best work. James, what the fuck were you talking about? Saying that there were that many Ventrue specifically in this one city?
I mean, well, if the Germans won World War II, it would have been a lot more Germans in Berlin. It was when the Soviets occupied the Germany, it was a lot of revenge rape.
Yeah, and that's what it was. They pulled a revenge
rape.
But it's got me thinking, dog. If that's true, and you embrace that many vampires, you would have woken up Ventrue by this point. You would have brought him back, and you would have started Wicked Nightmares in 1961. If you embrace that many Ventrue and they defect and then they're gone. So
what do you mean the Ventrue are all gone?
What do you mean the Ventrue? What you're telling me that the Ventrue Antediluvian is already outside walking around?
Yeah.
That the Ventrue did that much mass embracing?
Yeah.
Number 36. Smoking crack in a Walmart bathroom.
What you want to do with vampire is that for every you can enroll either 10,000, 50,000, or 100,000 people. That is every one vampire. So what is the population of Berlin today? I'll tell you what it is. Their population is 3.576 million people. So that is either as little as 35 vampires or 357. There's no way that city would have survived off of 200,000.
Should I be concerned that
mortal, not vampire?
They said Caine. They used the word Caine. What the Sabbat used that to refer to the vampires.
Yeah. Though, little
in
side
the old
note,
language, it's also used to refer to humans, maybe ghouls.
If they're referring to humans, it's fine. But if it's referring to vampires, it's fine. That's outrageous. But yeah, there were plenty of people that were escaping over to West Berlin, and so many people trying to escape communism. Where I bring this up with Fox. If East Berlin was being treated this well, why were so many people trying to escape it? And you go in, and West Berlin, they decide they're going to form a tunnel in it where East and West can meet, November 9th, 1898. And Gustav looks over and says, hey, that kind of defeats the point of the wall, doesn't it? I just go ahead and tear the whole thing down, and June 13th, they finally tear the wall down of 1990. And 1990, what vampire comes out of torpor during this time?
Oh,
Mr.
Ravnos.
No, that's Russia.
Oh, wait, no.
No, you said it right, Baba Yaga.
Oh, shit! Oh my god, I thought it was just fucking Russia.
I was thinking Ravnos.
No, Baba Yaga came and changed the world. Where...
Oh,
shit,
that's
that's
why.
why.
Black Spiral Dancer abominations and unleash them.
God, I feel dumb.
As what Baba Yaga does is that she raises Shadow Veil, which is a border that goes all the way along Russia's border that keeps any supernatural from going in or out. She bubbles off the world of darkness because she wants to create a world that she alone rules. And thus the events of Rage Cross Russia. And the East Berliners are looking over. Most of them are Bruja communists that Gustav is trying to target wrangle. And they begin to realize, oh, we're cut off from the motherland? Oh no! And as they're all scurrying about trying to figure something out, Gustav comes in, kicks these sons of bitches out of East Berlin. And he says, while this chaos is going on, I'm going to go in and I'm going to try to take control again of Berlin. I'm going to get this Russian mafia to increase crime in Berlin by 200% and create a smokescreen while I go in and I kill Wilhelm. And he goes in, past the wall, he starts going after Wilhelm, and meanwhile, while he's going off to get revenge, the final rock then comes out, and that's where the history ends. And then the adventure module begins, right after that period happens.
Oh, wow.
Where it takes place...
God, the end.
Yeah, it takes place in 1997, where the canonical ending for that is that Gustav dies from the blood curse. As it turns out, this is about to do something right. They make a disease that only vampires can catch that kills him.
That doesn't sound good.
That's your moment in the game. Like before, like you think you're going to have this big climactic showdown with Gustav. You break into his haven. He's already dead.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And then the real villain shows up.
Disappointing. Disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, it's Heinrich Himmler who's your final boss in this module.
Oh, gladly, I'd shoot him in the face.
Bring it on.
Yeah, can we get a vampire game where we fight Hitler? The best we can do for you is Himmler. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's cool. I got to shoot a Nazi. That's good.
Back Hitler.
Yeah, like how you do with Beria with the Russia game.
Yeah, where we still have Beria. That's the one thing that's going to keep Kindred going in this part of the plot.
I don't even remember him.
There it is.
I was brainwashed. I could get Bane next episode and be done.
The next episode we do. Kidney's coming back. I made you into a black skinhead. Is what your character is now.
Oh no!
No, I'm just a black spiral and I'm basically decaying.
Okay, so
every day.
Your brainwashing specifically involves anti-Semitism.
So are you
You can't decide that after the fact.
We turned you into Marlon from Fresh and Fit.
Fuck's sake.
Johnny, you also have to make him recruit the rest of the pack, especially that one female barrier has an interest in.
There it is. We're going to teach you the glory about race science. Wait, I turned you into Measurehead is why I did.
Oh, god damn it.
the glorious ways of the white race.
See, your ham sandwich, man. Your time of supremacy has passed, and it is now time for my upload group to take control.
So what you're saying is you turned him into an Uncle
to burn
Tom?
down, so my ideology can rise.
I don't even know my upload group.
Be calm, ham sandwich. You are of no threat to me, so you are not in danger.
I always imagined him sounding like the Heavy from TF2, and I don't know why.
Did you ever turn the voice mods on for Disco Elysium?
I did not, and I need to go back.
Disco Elysium comes voiced.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, and he's got this really like deep, slow voice when he speaks.
Yeah, he didn't strike me as very intelligente.
It's all caps when he speaks too.
Yes, he's small brain.
What is he constantly screaming?
There he is. No, the thing they're trying to convey is that his voice is super loud, which is why he's in all caps. So, but he doesn't like shout at you. He's just really loud.
That's fair. It's like his voice just
Like
carries.
my buddy Johan.
Am I being that loud?
No, actually, you're doing good.
I'm just taking the piss out of you. You know, I'm being a dick. Anyway,
Yeah,
there's
so
that.
Where are we at now
So
with history?
where are we at? We're at the travel guide. Ryan, where'd you like to go? Right.
Oh, let's see.
Ryan, you know what Berlin looks like.
Yeah,
So you want to start with east or west?
let's go to Munich.
Munich?
Wait, Munich's not in Berlin.
No.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure this is...
hey.
This man is going to go to Berlin and get pickpocketed the first day.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's go. See, flip a coin, east or west. Where do you want to go? West. Let's go west. See, let's talk about the first. Let's bring up the first thing to talk about. Let's talk about Charlottenburg. If there is a heart to city, it is this. It is your primary base of commerce, where you go in here, and this entire area is controlled by the Ventru. Who knows how to do business better than the Ventru, right? The Giovanni, but the Giovanni aren't here.
No, they're in Italy.
Where it's a place where the Ventru come in and make their money and make their business. And occasionally Dieter Kotlar will pop up here every now and then. He'll try to tell you about his race science and his latest theories. Just ignore him whenever he talks to you. And along with here you have the Brohan Museum, the Egyptian Museum, the Museum of Antiques, and the Radio Museum. A lot of museums here. And this entire section of the book reads as a travel guide to Berlin, actually.
Well, they do that in all of the they do that in the Vancouver Dark Alliance book too.
Yeah.
That's all they have to go off of.
You want to talk about Grunenwald?
Sure, why not?
This is a forest that lies east of the Havel River. It is forbidden of all kindred. Do not enter this forest, you will die.
There's werewolves in there. The cow lives there. Don't go in there unless you want to unless you want to die, or if you are angry.
And the reason why you don't go in here, it is filled with Fenris. Your favorite, right, Ryan?
Hey,
yes.
They're my favorite too.
Yeah, where
get Fenris schools.
See, what happens to you is that you go into this forest and you don't come out.
Yep.
And that's it.
I just wanted to go camping.
That's where Gerald Litz's
that's unfortunate
get
for you.
Fenris live.
Yeah. This is
where
this is where is this where Graham went to train as part of his backstory?
That actually would make sense.
Yes.
Trained by the Get of Fenris before they tried to kill him. It's like, you're too scrawny. Let's beef you up a little bit.
Beef him up with some Vitae.
And then we're going to this. You're getting ahead of us.
Twigs at Warhammer 40k, where it's like they beat the crap out of them to get bigger.
Hey, Grim, how much to go to Berlin and escort Johan to meet a person?
Yeah, you know, the person that looks like a ferret.
Yeah, the person that looks like a ferret.
Have you seen this man? He looks like a ferret.
Who's the ferret? What are you talking about?
Himmler.
Himmler, he looked like a ferret. If you look at pictures of him, he looks like a ferret.
He does, actually.
There's
exactly.
Grim kill Heinrich Himmler in the next Werewolf game.
Grim, can you pull it off?
Ooh, the similar is
absolutely
makes me want to punch his face.
Next time on Werewolf the Apocalypse, Grim fucking kills Heinrich Himmler.
Even before
or Germany at all.
Yeah, you're banned from Germany. You have too much fun. You got vote from Germany, Johan. You got deported out of your own fatherland. Now when I think of it, am I deported from Israel? I think I am.
Probably.
It's gonna be known as was real.
Yeah, pretty.
A solo effort too.
I know, but I like that joke. It's funny.
It's Bluesburg. You want to know about this place? Because it's got Assamites and Setites in it.
What?
Yeah, do you want to know about the Assamites and Setites? No, you don't get to learn more about them. But they're in there. Yeah.
Can we make our own stuff up, though?
Yes, you want to play as a Setite?
No. Can I be
if you join my game as a Setite, I'll give you 30 bonus experience points off the bat.
No, I'm never gonna beat the allegations.
For the incentive.
No, I have to play as another Assamite out of spite.
You see, I'm gonna be one of these for fucking Miami by night.
Maybe as a heretical Setite. Maybe.
Yeah.
Chris Hansen, Assamite.
Welcome, brother, to our conclave. Now you will be anointed by our priest, Jeffrey Epstein.
Jesus
Christ. He had that whole temple on his island too, where you had the sheik with the glowing orb that you come on.
I don't mind the Assamites, but I hate the Setites.
Everybody.
Yeah, I think everyone has to agree with that.
No, everyone loves the Assamites.
Reason.
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
I'm of the opinion still that the Assamites are the most based clan of vampires.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The Muslim headhunter.
They are actually kind of based.
Yeah. And see what else is. Also, I've noticed with our view count, Kyle, I believe you have smoked me when it comes to our chronicles. You are getting many more views and engagement than me when it comes to this. I told you with this. I told you were going to eclipse me once you started.
I'm not a good DM. I'm just a writer.
Let's see.
I enjoy the chaos of
I think it's like both of us working on this. Like me playing Insta Road, Kyle playing Craft Lead, and then you being the DM are what's making that series so good.
Wait, me playing
with the dynamic we've got going on with Insta Road and Autumn Leaves, Ryan having a ball with Cleft, and Sean when we have scenes with Siddhartha, he's really good.
Yeah,
so I feel like all those
really struggle to find stuff for Sean to do, and I want to do more with him, but I'm like,
well, throw him a curveball.
Yeah, no, that's the hard part. He's a piece of himself. How the fuck do I? Okay.
We do what I did with Chico, where we say, hey, here's a red cap who's really into you with Domary, and then we bounce off scenes with that.
I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Anyway, so still visiting Berlin.
All right, so you want to Reinickendorf? Is that what this place is called?
Sounds like a fun place.
Yeah, it's got an airport in it. If you want to go here, this is probably just where we're going to drop off. Where it is
I see planes now.
It is filled with ghouls. It is entirely filled with ghouls, and every single one of them works with Wilhelm. The minute you touch down, he will know that you're here.
Oh no!
According to Johan, I'm not allowed to fly planes.
Yeah. Keine Idee.
Hier in Berlin, ich komme aus für Bier und Blutwurst. In Musiken.
I'm a kindred. I can't vibe in that stuff anymore. Why do you mock me?
What? Beer and bloodwurst?
I cannot eat that stuff anymore.
Just put vitae in it. You'll be fine.
Put your blood into the beer.
That's like spitting into my drink and then vibing in it. That's disgusting.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
I like a good old beer. I got hooked in 1914 after a bad thing happened.
Oh boy!
I didn't mean to burn all those children and women.
Yeah.
Hey yo. Okay. I think the Gangrel's a little more unhinged than me. If you hadn't noticed, the most I have done is commit tax evasion.
The reason why I bring up this airport is because if you're a vampire, you're allowed to touch down here. If you are a werewolf or a mage, we gotta inspect the flight. They go over to the flight, and that werewolf or mage does not come off the plane.
So this is why you fly to France and then make your way.
Yeah, you want to drive to Berlin. You don't want to fly there.
Or you just run through the woods. You're a werewolf. You don't need a passport.
You're step sideways. Teleport. You can do that. Why are you taking a plane?
If you're a glass walker.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? What are we doing?
We're
next up is, Spandau, where it is West Berlin. It is your residential area, your suburbs. We bring this place up because you remember Eric Eigerman, who we talked about way earlier in the episode?
Eigerman.
He's alive, and he's in torpor underneath somebody's house.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. People just forgot he's here.
Herr Eigerman, wunderbar zu sehen Sie.
Honey, the walls are screaming in German again.
He fell asleep for 700 years. He's back.
He's in the walls.
He just
He's
punches
in the
through
goddamn
floorboards of the
walls!
house and just... Sorry, I was working on the plumbing, and then just fucks off.
You're not haunted, it's just a vampire.
Find Nazi artifacts hidden in their wall?
Probably.
Yeah, some shit like that. This is like an IRL thing that happened.
I know German men hid a tank in their house, and it was a working Panzer V or a King Tiger tank.
Oh my fucking god.
The thing that
wondering
pisses
what
me
was up
off
that
is
with
when they do
extension.
like those fucking gun buyback things, and then some woman who doesn't know what she has brings in like a functioning Stammgewehr 44 into the police, and they destroy it. Put it in a museum, for Christ's sake.
Mm-hmm.
That is
That's a rare
priceless
collector's piece.
history.
What's this? This
Would
is
not be me.
We know modern day Germany is the master of making good decisions.
Well, yeah, it's like, here, let's shut off our nuclear power, try to run the entire country off of wind and solar, and then destroy centuries-old villages to get more coal.
And then you become financially dependent on Russia.
For Russia.
Yeah, you go from saying you're going to cut ties with these guys forever to doing business with them and only them.
Aha! Fuck you, Putin
Like
and
my
Russia.
toxic ex,
1
Heaven
week later,
divide.
Russia, can we have more
Oh,
gas,
no.
please?
Oh no, I just mentioned my ex.
Calm down.
Johan, please. Oh goodness, I literally just said that in the studio. Anyway.
It's better than my father.
Oh yes, that's right, your father. Oh
Joe
yeah,
Daddy.
isn't she sleeping with your dad?
Probably.
Oh goodness.
Okay. Anyway, Berlin.
Tiergarten. Tiergarten, which is your other busy section of Berlin, it's completely controlled by a Toreador, except for a few places. Like Tierpark, the East Berlin Zoo. Wait, hold a minute, East Berlin. I thought we were in West Berlin. I think there's a typo here. Yes, it's a zoo, and it's filled with gangrel. As you have gangrel that pretend to be the animals of the zoo.
That's kind of funny, actually.
And just live here.
So it's a
Will they
massive
interact with
gangrel
the-
furry party then?
Yeah.
How would they interact with all the glasswalkers and their kinfolk in the zoos?
See, well, you
I
guys
like
want to
to
see a
move
zebra? There it is.
I like to move it. I like to move it.
Wait a minute,
Yeah,
don't they... if they're hiding as animals, wouldn't they get burned in the sun, though?
Indoor
Yes.
enclosures. Just don't ever step outside.
I'm just imagining
Imagine
like
getting
a
too
gangrel
close or-
human just painting himself white and black stripes.
Yes.
I can just imagine someone
all
trying to...
day.
Where's Bobby the zebra?
And go home at night.
Whack.
Why do all the zoo feeds have blood in them?
I wonder why.
Don't worry about it.
We learned this trick from Nosferatu.
That moment when you go to lean in close to a giraffe's head, then it looks in and leans back at you, and then you see its fangs.
Yeah. That's
No
creepy.
one will ever believe
Oh
you.
my god.
See, is there
Look up
Is there-
carnivorous horse, that's what I imagine.
That's
Or carnivorous deer.
is
Yep.
there any other place of interest in here? I'm looking through these. I'm trying to find the ones that have like the big zinger
Johnny.
twist to them.
I know there's inside that forest area where all the Goldgatter Fenris is, there's a giant mountain of rubble from Berlin when it got bombed.
Yeah.
They think all the test subjects are buried underneath there, including the werewolves.
Yeah, after Wilhelm just gave them the bodies. Yeah.
Well,
Because
but
he
basically,
didn't want any of it.
it says that any mortal can actually feel the unnaturalness of the place, and any of the no mortals, generally speaking, avoid that mountain.
As the you have the Fenris doing what the Actena do at Bane tending, essentially.
Yeah.
And so
No one knows what's actually the cause of it, according to the book, but everyone knows there's something bad there.
it is something bad. That's why they haven't been awoken. Because there's a devil inside these guys. Ryan, let's take you to East Berlin now.
Let's do it.
All right, taking you to East Berlin. We begin in Lichtenberg.
Lichtenberg.
Let's see. It is entirely ignored by the Kindred, and it is East Berlin's black market. You want to buy a gun? Guess what? You gotta go here for it. And
use your vehicle of salvation, my brothers. Buy a gun.
And that's it, really. That's
it.
Yeah, that's all. That's all there is in the book. Instead, we immediately go to Kopernik, where Heinrich Himmler lives.
Oh no! Hey, Johan! I doxed Himmler's IP. I doxed his IP.
Make him pay for what he did.
We'll do to him what we did to Nick Fuentes.
Oh my god! Wait, do you get that reference, dude?
Maybe no, that was Destiny.
Yeah, there's only 2 neo-Nazis in his movement left, and that's it.
Assassin.
Yeah.
No, there's
I'm
more
sorry,
in
forgot
the
to
book.
mute.
You got Beardly Beardson, and then you've got one other guy, and that's it. There's only 2 Nazis left in America First. And the reason what else happens in Kopernik Plaza? Himmler will occasionally invite a gang girl over, and what did you do with that gang girl, buddy?
Probably getting information on the werewolf so they can take more of them as test subjects.
Yeah, he's trying to buy the allegiance of Clan Gangrel by offering them guest rooms within his haven, along with the supply of blood.
Oh,
Yes,
that can't
talking
go
my
wrong.
Gangrel friend.
Yeah, and now
Would
we
you
have
like to-
we got Nazi Gangrel.
Oh, look at this little kinder van.
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
so cute, so
whenever I
cute.
think of Himmler, I think of that meme where it's like I think it's Himmler and I think one of the field marshals talking, and Himmler's going on about how healthy mommy milkers are essential for the health of the German people. And then the field marshal's like, Himmler, I need more weapons. My front line is going to collapse.
Yeah, this is a
I
man of
see what
logic.
you're saying.
Oh yeah, Himmler liked a bunch of orgies, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know he was railing Goebbels' wife.
Yeah. He had all the summer camps too, where you had all these German boys that were invincible, and they'd have plenty of sex with the German girls over there.
Yeah.
For graduation, you had to kill your German Shepherd. Yeah, fun
There's
times.
There's no amount of pussy that would make me want to kill a German Shepherd. They are the good boy dogs.
You look at this dog and it loves you and it wants to live for you, and then you have to kill it.
And then they're and German Shepherds are super smart too. They're a very intelligent breed of dog.
Yeah, he knows what they're going to do to him.
I have a question. What did Hitler think about that?
Yeah, because he
Hitler loved
really loved
dogs.
it.
This wonderful camp full of these good Aryan youths. Oh, we're going to make a proper utopia. You're doing what to the dogs?
They actually show that in Jojo Rabbit, where like they tell him to kill a rabbit and he won't, so they start calling him Jojo Rabbit.
Yes.
Well,
And-
Rabbit is Hoffenheffer.
And also in this book, it brings up Goring is still alive, and he is ghouled by Himmler.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait,
Well,
he's a
actually,
ghoul?
no, he's
I thought
not.
he's
He's
He's a
terrified
volcano.
of him.
Yeah. And sorry, I'm wrong about this. Goring is later in the book.
Yeah, so Goring is in the book. He's a Malkavian.
Oh, I got it wrong. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Misinformation on my part.
Get in my belly, Victor. I am Goring.
Oh no!
I want to eat you.
No, my God!
Yeah, but we get to know that he's alive. Gobbles, on the other hand, dead. And Mengele, dead.
Remember, that's no umlaut.
Happy about that.
It's pronounced
Yep,
like O-R.
very happy.
Yeah. And going into Pankow. Let's see what's over here. It is the industrial section of East Berlin, and the most boring and banal. Do not go here if you're a changeling. You will die. You will die immediately.
Okay, let's go see what's in here. Drops dead immediately.
See, as you
Like
go
a
over here.
fly.
Let's see here. One, looking at this guy, Thomas de Lutris. Lutrius. Taste me a minute on that name.
This is Germany. I wouldn't be shocked if they needed like 2 or 3 times to try and pronounce a name.
He is the guy that owns this place and runs this place. And he may or may not have had something to do in the reconstruction experiments that were going on with the Bruja during Project Werewolf. And Pencal has an odd fascination with the Giovanni. Members of the Giovanni have been coming into East Berlin through this district and have tried to see if they can do business with Gustav here. A small delegation from the Giovanni clan has even made arrangements to move into the area. Though they seem to live elsewhere, it's no coincidence that the moans and screams reported in their residential area have become noticeably similar to the ears of Citizen Kindred of what you hear in Giovanni cairns. Sorry, cairns, havens. So, seems that the Giovanni are completely okay with this. I mean, after all, a lot of Giovanni were embraced during Italy fascist period.
Yep.
So they see nothing wrong with this.
Fun.
And see what else is here. Not much is going on in East Berlin, actually. Looking at the places of interest in the book, the places of interest are not as interesting as I thought they were. And
in fact, East Germany is the part that had all the neo-Nazis.
East Berlin was the part that looked the most boring. You want to pull up East Berlin architecture?
Wait a minute. No, I thought that they sent Putin over to West Berlin and when he was a part of the KGB in order to create a new brand of neo-Nazis in order to destabilize West Berlin.
Putin on the Ritz.
Yes.
As you do in KGB.
East Germany is the one where they didn't really shame all the former Nazis. In West Berlin, they were shamed. But in the East, they weren't, so they didn't have that collective guilt in the West.
Yeah, and was either
that collective guilt like the West had, I should say.
And was it was Fox who told me it was either Lithuania or Latvia that erected a statue of an SS soldier to commemorate him defending the country from Russian Soviets.
I think that's Latvia.
See, he was a beautiful skinhead. He was a rogue skinhead.
To be fair, it's kind of
I think that's Latvia.
It's kind of easy to idolize one of those kinds of people when they're not actively genociding you, when the other group is.
Some context there. So.
They may have genocided you back then, but we're not doing it now.
Yeah, let me go into.
This place is the new ones. Don't worry about it.
This place looks exactly like I thought it was going to look like. I am in East Berlin right now in Street View, and all these buildings look the same.
Come to Eastern Europe. Come see the building.
I'm looking at the building right now.
It's even better in person. It's all the same. Commie block buildings, all the same. They build it all uniformly. Serbia is a little bit different. They might have an open top building with a square with a middle where the sunlight shine, but it's all the same.
See, let me take the screenshot of what I'm looking at right now. See,
just
get rid of
just brutalism.
Just
brutalism and its consequences have been devastating for the human race.
Of changing the dreaming game taking place in West Berlin, and you slowly die of banality and you have to find a way out of the city before that happens.
I was actually thinking the same thing, to be honest.
This is what I'm looking at.
Granted, that is marginally better what is in the rest of Russia, but even still, that is just depressing to look at.
The building.
Yeah. It is the building, yes.
This is just me dropping myself off in a random spot of East Berlin. I wasn't even looking for anything.
I was born in Button.
Granted, I will say these are marginally nicer than the ones that are still vastly populate a lot of Eastern Europe.
Huh. What's in the rest of this book? Well, besides the module, characters of interest.
There are quite a few people to talk about, so don't worry about the Bruja. It's Nazi, chick Nazi, and other Nazi. Don't worry about the Bruja.
You did not like the Bruja in this book.
Is the chick Nazi single?
See,
no, she's actually dating the other Nazi, Dieter Kulta.
My beautiful skinhead ass.
Anyway, so moving on to more
Sorry,
interesting
Summer.
people, we were
Who's
discussing
with
them
me with
earlier.
Stan Summer?
What the fuck was that?
Bruh.
When was that?
That was fucking
I have a
terrible.
feeling that was a soundboard, but I could be wrong.
I'm
You would
dumbfounded.
be wrong.
It is a soundboard.
No, soundboards are recorded, all natural, as soon as
It's AI generated, that's what it is.
Storyteller, get that shit the fuck up out of here before I commit violence, bro.
I am made of violence. You cannot.
We got the hentai
woke up
skinhead in the chat.
fucking
Hentai, yes.
neo-Nazi
Skinhead,
K
no.
on PFP.
My beautiful skinhead S.
Okay. So Gangrel. So we have Daryl Lutz.
Now we're gonna have to talk about this guy after this segment.
So this guy's really interesting. He knew about the Kindred because Daryl's brother was Garrow. Daryl was kinfolk before he had ever become Kindred. His brother Fritz believed that the Kindred served to destroy the worm and destroy the world in an effort to kill the Grey Earth spirit of Gaia. And then Daryl later on met this guy, Rolf Keller, who camped with him in the woods one night as they were waiting for Fritz. And they were just kind of killing some time. And then Ralph just attacked him and then sank his fangs in. When he recovered, Ralph was gone and he was surrounded by Get Ephemeris. Fritz was trying to convince the others that he was not like the other Kindred, but they wouldn't listen. Fritz attempted to fend off the pack and told Daryl to run. But Fritz had managed to eventually meet with Daryl later on and taught him the ways of the Garrow, especially the Get Ephemeris. And soon, Daryl found himself becoming friends with the Get Ephemeris of the Schwarzwald, the Black Forest. They came to understand each other, and Daryl then tasked himself with hunting the Kindred just outside of the Schwarzwald in order to help his brother and protect the Garrow. So, he knows that he's an agent of the worm, but he takes comfort in knowing that he can help the Lupines so much more than he would as just kinfolk. All who would come to Grünwald would cause harm. Beware, for this is his domain. Even sending Assamites don't return. So, So that's the story of Daryl Lutz, who is the most prominent gangrel, and has actually affirmed my suspicion that, yes, a gangrel with the right background can indeed make friends with the Garrow. It probably helped that he was kinfolk prior to that. Nature fanatic, demeanor, loner, makes sense. 8th generation, he was embraced in 1910, so he's been around for a minute. But this dude is strong. Strength 5, Dex 4, Stamina 5. This is friggin' Alertness 5, Athletics 3, Brawl 5, Dodge 5. This guy is a bruiser.
This guy sounds like...
And Stamina 5, Fortitude 4.
Yes.
But that's
Jesus
not all.
Christ.
He has Obfuscate 2, Potence 4, Protean 5.
He has Animalism 5 too.
Yes, he does. And Celerity 3. This guy is busted.
He's designed for dust-ups.
Yes, wait until you get to the influence.
If dust-up's my ass, he can whip your shit before you even realize your teeth are missing and on the floor.
Yeah, if you show up on Grünwald, it's this motherfucker who's gonna kill you.
Gary, help! The air is killing me!
Bear in mind that, if the Storyteller does use Werewolf in this setting, Daryl does not register against the Sense Worm gift. So, just for his role-playing notes, he hates Kindred, for they are all you wish you were not. You do not destroy them on sight, but you will warn them away from your territory. Your voice is a low rumble, storm clouds gather in the distance with the echoes of thunder in your words. Love how that's put. Your strongest desire is to protect your domain, your retainers, and your herd. More than anything else, you want to be a Garrow, for strong bond with the Garrow leaders of the Grünwald Sept. So pretty much all the Lupines in that area consider Daryl their family. And, 5 eldest of the Lupine are his ghouls and are bloodbound to him. They serve as his herd, but He also, so he basically has like a ring of abominate. Well, he hasn't embraced any of them, so not abominations, but just Gould Garrow, just so they won't fucking kill him. But he's also helping them. It's really interesting. I love his character.
Go back to his stat block and how old he is. Those are probably like 120-year-old Garu.
Yes.
With ghoul bonus abilities too. You will not survive.
Oh my good lord.
I'm going to say there is some earlier installment weirdness with Berlin by Night, because this is the same book that brings up embracing animals. The Sentites do that, but this book wants to say that it's a common thing, along with saying if you kill your sire, it will cure you of being a vampire.
Quick question: what animals are they?
Let's see, dogs.
Are you sure they weren't just bone gnawers?
Let's see, no, they're not bone gnawers.
No, this is Germany. They're get.
And and there's a lot of stuff in here that strongly conflicts with other bits of the lore that would be written over with revised editions. And the ghouling of a werewolf, so you have gifts where you can resist that. And it takes you need to be fed the blood of a vampire 3 different times before you are bound to them. The first one, you're obsessed with them. Second one, you seek these people out. Third one, you're tied to that person. But you have to bomb a willpower roll on that 3 times before you're stuck and bound to that vampire, and you have to keep receiving the vampire blood for that to be possible.
So how exactly does that withdrawal work then?
So that withdrawal work, well, that's the best part about Vitae. You don't go through that. You just crave it.
Oh, so it's just kind of like a background haze of craving for Vitae.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Bloodclaw, I heard you got some of that there, Kindred Vitae. Can I get some of that, yo?
That was basically me playing Fritz the Cat in your Disco by Night game.
That is.
And
he finally went through his crystals, too.
I got like some of that good Octavian shit, man.
All he had to do to get them to drink it was
about me. You heathen over there, you have stolen my vitae coursing through my veins. Now I'm doing my best Xavier Renegade Angel impression.
Yes.
Lux would have to do to get them to drink his blood to say it made them better warriors, and he wouldn't be lying.
I mean, yeah, that's a very easy way to trick them. Like, as we have said, most fair. Go ahead.
Also, with animalism, he can control their frenzies.
Well, he can stop them from frenzying, but he can't control their minds. It's not like the super dominate just because they have. Yeah.
Animalism as a power. If you
that
look
shuts
at
on your frenzy.
A bunch of them, he can pull them out or push them in.
Yeah, and it saves you from learning the gift from Crocodile. It's level 3.
Yes.
So with that, you see why werewolves will let the gangrel live when one of them enters. But a gangrel taking over a pack of werewolves like this is a big exception, is not a norm.
Yes, indeed.
I
that
just
is only
find
because.
it
What's up?
It's weird that if I had a nickel for every time a large group of get offenders fell under the control of a vampire, specifically a gangrel, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Fucking doofenshmirtz.
Is that the get some sexes get ephemeris see it as advantageous to do this, while meanwhile
I think it would be a clan flaw or a tribal flaw.
And other groups like the Shadow Lords do it the other way, where we don't serve the vampire serves us.
Well, I mean, the Shadow Lords are smarter marginally than the get ephemeris.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, yo, my buddy Johan's trying to say something.
Say something.
So if I outsmarted a werewolf into drinking my blood, it is a chance that I could ghoul them and turn them into my servant.
You need three doses of it. You need to get 3 doses of it.
Yeah, you need to fool them 3 times.
And also
there's a very important thing you have to know. On the first taste is technically what creates a blood bond.
Yeah.
And there's a chance it might turn into Gusai from Future Diary, if you know the anime.
Where they become obsessed with you.
But
at the same time, do you want a werewolf obsessed with you?
Maybe.
It depends.
Because the obsession does not equal the same level of the Dungeons and Dragons spell a charm person, where you're just on their mind. So if I'm bloodbound to somebody, let's say like I'm obsessed with Ethan Ralph, you know how I feel about Ethan Ralph. I'm not going to start serving Ethan Ralph.
Yeah.
They might just rip my head off and then drink the blood.
Yeah. So now Ethan Ralph is going to have to get me to drink his blood 2 more times before I become bound to him.
Come
Yeah,
here and
but
kiss me
you
on my
already
hot
have,
mouth.
Johnny. Let's be
Leech.
entirely
I'm
honest.
feeling
Ethan
romantic.
Ralph has no power for me. I mean, he's not my profile picture.
Yes, he is.
But I already embraced him.
God
He's my child now.
damn
We
it.
I
thought
call
he-
dibs, Mr. Depp.
We thought he died this week,
One
but now he's
episode.
still alive.
I wanted to get through one episode without any fucking Schadenfreude, but no, it had to
Without-
come
without
in
me
the
bringing up
Berlin
Ethan Ralph.
episode. God damn it.
He's our new Alice's restaurant.
I hate this
Then
shit.
my question is,
I'd rather do more
am
Alice's
I
restaurant
going
jokes.
to hate, or am I?
Oh, we're not muted. I'm sorry.
The train of thought derailed.
Anyway, back to the characters. The Malkavians are really interesting. I love how the book starts with a quote from Spike Jonze and the City Slickers, Der Führer's face. When the Führer says, "We is the master race," we help right in the Führer's face. Fucking love that. And also, I have to note, just like the strategy of the Malkavians in Berlin, it's kind of brilliant. So Malkavians make up the second largest coterie in the city after Ventru. The members of the clan are often referred to as Fledermaus, or bats. They're all active in the political battle raging between the East and the West. Hear this particularly. Once a week, the entire clan gathers to draw straws. The Malkavian who draws the shortest straw decides which side of the battle they will join for the week. Theoretically, any vampire can attend and draw a straw, but most of them don't.
So this is just a game to them.
It is.
Oh,
it really
goodness.
is a
I
game
drew a
to them.
straw.
They quite literally.
Well, time for me to pretend I'm a communist.
They quite literally just pull a fucking Anton Chigurh where they just flip a coin to decide which side they're on.
See, Ryan, do you feel like being a communist or a fascist today?
Fascist.
There it is. You at least get to own.
What's the difference?
You get to
Thank you.
own your own house as a fascist.
Well, no, it's still state property and they can take it from you. Well, actually, no, we have eminent domain here. Never mind. You know what? You're good.
Yeah. There we go.
Anyway, so the main one I want to talk about is this gentleman, J. Oswald Hyde Weiss, or Hyde White, as it's written in the book.
AKA Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
He is quite literally the man who told me he was none other than the original Henry Jekyll of Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. He laughed at him. That did not go well. And, you know, the story failed to materialize for him except as a lead in one of the many cults swimming through Britain at the time. The one had a strong difference, reportedly being run by a dead man, one Aleister Crowley. He wasn't willing to let a juicy morsel of a story slip away, so he gave the source half of the money he had promised for good information and promised the other half upon verification. Went to the home where he could find the figure, but the building was deserted, but somebody was watching him. And then somebody claiming to be Dr. Jekyll appeared before him, and he would not tell him what the cult was called, and yes, Aleister Crowley truly did run it. So he was there, and this gentleman claiming to be Dr. Jekyll handed him all these several pamphlets and leather-bound books he claimed to be Crowley's journals. He read, but what he read in the pamphlets was just hype. But in the journal, it was all kinds of stuff. It was several hideouts and ritual sites to gods that were no longer worshipped. And one of these participants was Edward Hyde, the legendary counterpart. And Jekyll wanted to pass the information along to the proper authorities that he couldn't trust himself to do it. But, you know, he probably wasn't talking to Crowley if that was the case. But then, just in a flash, Jekyll changed before him, and he demanded that he get the pamphlets in the book back.
Mm.
And he saw that it absolutely was real. Hyde attacked him and, you know, began drawing blood for him. But then Jekyll returned, licked the wounds on the throat, and embraced him, just enough blood to bring him back from the dead. But in doing so, accidentally passed on his split personalities to this narrator, that being Oswald Hyde. So he was sired by, you know, Henry Jekyll and Edward Hyde, and therefore his nature is split between martyr, penitent, and bravo, but the demeanor remains a jester. He Get this. He's a 7th generation Malkavian embraced only in 1965.
He's not at his peak yet.
No, he isn't. But even still, Strength 5, Dex 4, Stamina 4, Charisma 4, Manipulation 6, and Appearance 4.
And he's only going to get stronger.
Yeah. He is the max Charisma, max Strength build. He suffers a little bit in his talents with Acting 3, Alertness 3. But, then he's also got Auspex 4, Dominate 3, Fortitude 5, Obfuscate 4. So, oh my god.
He does the whole Nosferatu strategy of I sneak up behind you invisible and then one-shot you.
Exactly. And in all honesty, that serves his character incredibly well because, Ozzy himself is this, lean man in his mid-20s with, somewhat with shoulder-length hair. He's always got a smile with bright banter. He doesn't fear anything. He doesn't get in anybody's trouble. And then Hyde comes out, and he will smile too, but it's the smile of a wolf in combat. He actually owns a small inn, and it's run by a family that he's dominated into ignoring his existence. He's sort of the unofficial head of Berlin's Malkavian coterie. He doesn't really have any influence over the clan. He does have a vote in the Primogen of the West Side. Usually he follows the Toreador lead when it comes to voting, which leaves him on good terms with the clan in general. He's just a really interesting... I don't really have any reason to go over the rest of the Nosferatu just because, it's
we have a clear winner.
More of the same. But the only one that I need to mention is Hermann Goring. So I love how this is written.
Still alive.
I got to read this one verbatim just because I love how frantic it seems. You can really hear there's action. What? Sorry.
The roadblock. The roadblock.
Yes.
Yeah, you run this man over, you get your car stuck.
Yep. So.
Yup.
I am Hermann Goring. No, I don't care that he is supposed to be dead. I really am Hermann Goring. Listen, I know things. I know that Hitler is still alive. I know the truth about Project Werewolf. And I know that being a vampire destroyed my life. No one asked me, They just attacked me and drank me and raped me with their blood. There were 3 of them, laughing and carrying on if they could possibly understand what I was about. They called me a baby killer and worse. Before they sucked the life away from me, they carved things into my very flesh. I've seen things that draw the tortured souls out of the air around me and haunt me all the time. If you don't believe me, I can tell by the way you stare. I have to leave. They stubborn to carve more spells into my flesh. Promise me. You must promise me that you will not tell Heinrich that I am here. He knows it was I who hid the Mangalese arbor, the true magic that Adolf stole from the world. If he finds me, he'll kill me. He knows where Adolf is. I must go now.
I love...
This man is cooked.
I love how frantic and terrified he sounds.
This man is cooked.
He really is, and it's just incredible how it's written. And the dates do check out. Embrace 1946, Apparent Age 52, 8th generation. Honestly, his stats suck, though. His stats are fucking terrible.
He doesn't deserve good stats.
The highest stats are his mental stats. Intelligence 4 and wits 4. The rest of it's shit.
Oh.
He's not that good.
Does Herman Goring see wraiths?
I don't. He must, because his derangements. Let me see if I can find them, because I did see. Yes, paranoia.
He does what Jordan Pearson does. When he drinks apple cider, he starts seeing demons.
Actually, yes. Paranoia, delusions of grandeur, certain that all of the ghosts of of the dead from the Second World War haunt him.
Oh shit!
Here's the crazy thing.
Oh.
Humanity won. He is one bad day away from Rottrack.
Or that's not to say if the beast has already taken over.
Yeah. He's fucked.
Yes.
Like at this rate, Himmler doesn't even need to kill him. He'll do that himself.
Just go ahead. He's just going to crash out on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yes. Okay.
And
now with that,
it's
mind,
literally a Malkavian Cleopatra.
This is gonna take some time because Why the fuck are the Nosferatu in this book so well written?
We have 5 Nosferatu in this book.
There are 5 of them, but 3 of them are so ungodly good. It's just, oh my god. I gotta fucking talk about this. The main one, the first one the book brings up, is just a showstopper of a tragic story. Ellison, the truth in the walls.
This guy's fantastic, yes.
He was born a freak in Wiesbaden. It was a small town to the far northeast of Berlin. He had one arm too short and one leg too long. Sure, he had friends and loved ones, but nobody truly loved him. And then he met a woman by the name of Melita Wallenberg. He only ever saw her at night, which was a minor inconvenience, but she was lovely. She was beautiful. They would talk for hours and hours about the world. And then one night, when the moon was only a sliver, she came and awoke him from sleep. She had red tears and demanded to know if he loved her. And of course, he said he did. And then she asked if he would love her if she still wasn't as beautiful, and he said yes. And then she dropped her obfuscate, her disguise, and her face was worn by years of grief and pain. Her skin was blue and covered in warts, and the hair on her head was as sparse as, the shadowy growth of lichen on a cave of ice. But her eyes were filled with love and sorrow as they had all ever been. And despite the malformed flesh, it reminded him so much of himself that he couldn't help but love her, and she embraced him that night after they made love together. The pain of the transformation was excruciating. It felt like his bones were being ground into dust, but Melita's love saved him from madness. They left town a short while later, and he learned about that he had become the damned. Other kindred scorned him and believed that they were 1,000 times more evil than any others. And they roamed from city to city, finding adventure and danger, and they could never find a place to truly remain until Berlin. And they asked Gustav if they could remain, and he would have denied them had Wilhelm not stepped in and told the prince what great things the Nosferatu are capable of. And then, during World War I, during a bombing, the sewers they were hiding in were collapsed and crushed Melita before Ellis's very eyes. Although he believes that someday she will awaken and they'll be together again. He knows it to be true. If she had met final death, he would have no reason to go on. Nature, caregiver, demeanor, plotter. He is a 6th generation Nosferatu, embraced in 1532. So
this man's been around for too long.
Yes. Stamina
It's
7.
such a good
though.
love story. I love that. I love it so much.
His middle stats: Perception 7, Intelligence 5, Wit 6.
What was 7?
Perception 7.
Nothing gets by him.
Nothing. Oh my good lord. Berlin knowledge 6, bureaucracy 4, investigation 5, linguistics 7. This man's a walking Rosetta Stone. Animals
when you were around
5,
for that long, you got lost time
6, potence and presence 5.
Oh man.
Weather control 1. How the fuck from thaumaturgy 2?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So he's found the time to learn magic along with his languages.
Yes, he has.
This guy's almost on the same level of intelligence as that Malkavian librarian in Vancouver.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That cross.
Oh my god.
That guy. He's cool as shit.
Yep.
Yes.
He never speaks above a whisper. People strain to hear them. If they want what you have, they have to work for it. If you're insulted, you will explain why you've been insulted, and then rip their fingers off of their hand. Be calm, but full of menace. Ellison has more power than even the princes realize. He has been giving accurate information to both princes for so long that they would have little reason to doubt him. He could end the war in a night with a single well-placed word. Ellison knows practically everything that goes on in Berlin, and will tell anyone what they want to know for the right price. Nosferatu of Berlin look for Ellison for guidance in all things, even those who run within the Final Reich.
Even Nazis are calling this man up.
This guy right here has the power to just end the game in a night, if you can convince him to do so.
Because after all, when we were talking about New York by Night, who was it that profited off of the whole conflict between Polonia and Jan Pietrzun? That's right, Calabros.
Yes.
Or is that the Nosferatu were the ones that profited off of that situation? Where the Nosferatu have a good plan. They did wait for you to make a mistake and then fill the role that you used to fill.
Yep. Oh yeah, Rasputin's here too. He's in East Berlin.
Yeah. The fourth book that claims Rasputin's membership.
Yep. And also his lover Amelia. Well,
the Settites say they have him. The Markavians say they have him. The Worm says they have him.
Yep. And then there's Wolfgang,
who's
Rasputin? Just a serial
killer.
Oh
no, it's been confirmed he's actually just a wraith possessing people in the
Putin
Partners
yes
book. Or Tears and Partners book.
As they try to reconcile all this conflicting lore.
In all honesty, though, like
it works though.
Yeah. Though, like, I really like the fact that like Rasputin has like a Nosferatu with a Nosferatu lover. I kind of really like Wolfgang, just because he's just a serial. Usually, I wouldn't like this kind of character.
This guy's just a freak.
But for some reason, I can't help but love just the spite and vitriol in this man. Like, listen to his
Just how like sketchy he looks too.
He does, like the plaid shirt, the scarred up face, the.
The movie wasn't out yet, but there's a movie. I believe the name of it was High Tension, is what it was called. He looks like the killer from that movie.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah.
But I love how he's introduced. Like, listen, just the first paragraph.
Yeah.
You do understand, don't you? It's all a sick joke, a mockery of what life is supposed to be and what it was before the embrace. I know Amelia only meant to comfort me when she took me, but she should have just left me to die. I suppose it never occurred to her that the freakish little dwarf had jumped down to the U-Bahn's tracks, not fallen or been pushed. It's just the way she is. She's an angel forced to bear the face of a demon from hell. I, on the other hand, am truly a demon. It has only been 3 years since she embraced me, and I already have caused more deaths than she ever did. Elson keeps trying to tell me I shouldn't take it all so personally. What a laugh! It's the fault of my father's preoccupation with drugs. I'm convinced of that. Always a new experience. Always a new way to expand his mind's horizons until he had no mind left. He's such a troubled and just dark individual, and he wants to just take it out on the world. And I kind of love that.
This is why you really want to vet the people before you embrace them. Because you end up embracing guys like this that had a lot of skeletons in their closets and a lot of demons before you embraced them that they thought death was going to solve. Then they find out that they're stuck in this and that there is no life after death. There is no escape from their plans. So they crash out and then embrace their inner evil and become what you see in front of you.
A monster. An actual monster.
My name is Mud.
My name is Cum.
Not to be confused, Danny Billy Damn Joe. My name is Mud. It's always been. I love that fucking song. Anyway,
we're at the Calumet music references we got between our two games.
Yes. I really hate copyright. I would be listening to so much better music in Appalachia.
Anyway, better music? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'd like copyright music better.
There's going to be an ass whipping in a minute.
What do you mean?
Yes.
Oh no.
I don't like soundtracks. I'm sorry.
Yes.
There are very few soundtracks I actually like. But anyway. So this is kind of like the keystone of all Toreador. Toreador are sort of divided as their opinions as to who should be in control of the city. The most lean towards Velhelm. A few Toreador live in the east half, where they've put up with Gustav's strict rule for a long time, convinced that, the harsh environment is necessary for their art. Sure, whatever. So the main one I want to talk about, there's actually two that I want to talk about. The other one's just kind of dumb. The first one is Antoinette, She Who Watches. She's a huge cinephile. She loves movies, and she met a man who loved movies as much as she did. His name is Jacques. Frenchman, I believe. They would discuss cinema and scriptures until the end of the Third Reich. And when they saw that, the Reich was falling, it was Jacques who offered Antoinette to join him in immortality. And they had discussed his vampirism before. They had no secrets with each other. And she loved the embrace. Of course, the witch hunters felt otherwise. Only a night after her embrace, Jacques was killed in his studio and burnt to a crisp. And she cried and cried for him after that. It was another very tragic, love story between vampires. And then she made a movie about it, and she keeps it in her private film library. It's the only film she will not watch with anyone else. So, perfectionist, praise seeker, typical Toreador, embraced in 1943. Not a physical build, very charismatic. Charisma 4, manipulation and appearance 5. Perception and intelligence 4. Acting 5, alertness 3. Skills, etiquette, music 4, photography 5. Very, very handy. But yeah, pretty typical for Toreador. Kind of low on humanity at only 6 points, but 9 points of willpower. She's the original Ice Maiden. Beautiful, aloof, golden locks of hair, and a perfect smile and a perfect figure. She's
Toreador stuff.
Just basic Toreador. I still like her story. It's not as well written as as Ellison's, but still good. But what I like even more is the man who she met later on, right after the fall of Berlin and the death of her husband, Hans Werneck. He led the Berlin Symphony Orchestra before the war, and being Jewish, he fled the country when the Nazis took power. When the war ended, he came home to what was once a beautiful city, now in ruins. Everything that he had in his original home was gone, and all he had left was his father's violin. With nothing left, he sat and he played for 3 hours until his hands could no longer do so. And to his surprise, he gathered a crowd of citizens and soldiers who had all stood lost and destitute before him. And standing there amongst the crowd was Antoinette. She'd heard him play since the beginning and listened till the very end. And she almost died because the sun was rising only minutes after he'd finished. The very next night, she came to visit him in the same place he'd been playing in the night before, and convinced him to join her in immortality. He was laying near the same spot where he'd played, and he spent most of the day there after he was robbed from his Stradivarius and left to die from a knife wound. So she carried him all the way back to her haven and gave him VT to drink. And 2 hours later, he had the Stradivarius back in his hands, and the blood who had taken it in his body. So she gave him another shot, and he took it, and now he just gets to play his music. He just loves his music. And in all honesty, like it's what was the one JoJo villain where he was just a baker that killed people?
I don't think he was a villain.
Yeah, it's the bait and switch that he's a killer. But it turns out, oh no, he's just a normal guy.
No, he just wanted his violin back.
Good old Tonio Trusadiri.
Yeah. So that, but he only had to do it once. But all this guy wants to do is play his violin, and you know what? I kind of like that. I like a vampire that's not. I like this vampire that's not trying to be a part of any great political scheme or anything like that. He just wants to play his music.
Hey, mister!
What?
Vampires are gay.
What?
I guess I'm gonna have to get a little whooping here.
Sucking penis.
Review Tech USA has entered the chat.
Anyway.
Oh no, I've been discovered.
Going from perhaps
Kyle.
Yep.
Kyle, do you mind if I take the wheel for a minute with Heinrich Kindler?
I was actually just about to talk about that. The biggest L in Tremere history, keeping this fucker alive.
So this man is the alleged Tremere primogen of East Berlin. and head of the Final Reich. I'm reading off of TV tropes for this. He is a secret agent of the Sabbat, where he's playing both the Camarilla and Anarchs against each other so he can debilitate both while boosting up his Final Reich. He is a self-admitted beast of a vampire who has fully given in to the beast within him. He promotes racist rallies and terrorist attacks, all for promoting the same ideas that he had when he was still alive. And he proudly confesses to have committed numerous war crimes during his military career and as a key architect of the Holocaust, including overseeing Project Werewolf, where we already went over what that does. Himmler is also behind the Feared Hunting Party, a coterie of sadistic and psychotic killers that diabolize their own people en masse. He's just going around causing chaos, and he thinks it's funny. And this is what he's up to.
I think I need to go to Berlin and have a couple of words with him in my favorite language, 45 automatic Colt pistol.
See, you see why he makes for such a good final boss. Where,
yes, absolutely.
When you have a guy who's this evil. Now, tell us what this stat block looks like. How hard is this fight going to be?
So he is an 8th generation vampire, embraced in 1945. Not a whole lot on the physical stats. Strength 3, Dex 3, Stamina 4, but Manipulation 5. Let's see. Subterfuge 4. Basically, he's just a really good liar. Occult
Ferret,
5, which
ferret.
I think... What's up?
What?
But
Victor is saying ferret.
Yeah, he looks like a ferret.
But
He acts like a ferret.
the thing is, where his real strength comes in is Presence 5, Thaumaturgy 5. Gift of Morpheus, Summon the Spirit Servitor, Movement of the Mind, Verdant Favor, Lure of Flames, Path of Torture, and Vicissitude 3. Where the fuck did he get that?
Yes.
Anyway.
I will tell you who he gets it from because this book forgets to mention the character. So, let's talk about Dr. Totentas for just a minute. So, reading off TV trips again because she's in here. This is what she looks like. Yep.
Studio notes.
Yep.
I can't put that on the screen.
Yes, you can't put that on the screen.
What the fuck?
Would you like to take a wild guess what clan she's from?
I would not hit that.
Yeah, no
That's
smash.
a vampire? That looks like a fucking Fomori.
That's a vampire.
It does. It does look like a
Hold on,
Fomori, but
I'm
that's a
gonna
vampire. This is a Michi.
She is a Zemichi Dominion of the Black Hand, one of their leaders.
Oh my god.
She looks like she's a Slaneshi Daemon.
That's what she looks like, yeah.
She kind of looks like a merfolk with the earrings.
That's grotesque. Fuck me.
Her character is that she was suspected to have been a male eugenicist scientist, Heinrich Luntz, who was sired by a Zemichi for the terrifying passion he had in his work. Totentas used the Zemichi flesh warping abilities to change his own gender from man to woman and indulge in the fullest of her chosen proclivities, whipping up enormous, savage Sabbat war parties to murder as many people as she can while having massive orgies afterwards. Totentas was given a wide berth even by the rest of the Black Hand for the sheer audacity of her slayings, and her chief regret only seems to be that Pol Pot still has her beat for the sheer amount of people that have been slaughtered by him. Totentas sires the equally vicious child, Vicerek, where what Vicerek is known as is that he is a Zemichi skinhead who is going around with his own cult of skinheads, convincing other vampires to quit their Camarilla, quit the Sabbat, and become this new white supremacist faction that wants to destroy all of Europe and make it white again. And she knows about this and just lets him do whatever he wants. And the one thing with Totentas, yeah, she's still around. She still hasn't gotten hers yet. She doesn't die at the end of this module. So after you kill Heinrich Himmler, you've got Totentas. She's still alive.
I'm gonna
she's
cut
still
her
out
in
there
half
causing
with a
shit.
machine gun.
Yeah.
So, Colt, I will truly join you if you want to go to Germany and talk to Himmler.
Let's see. And let's see here. As for her stat block, I don't believe she has one.
Oh,
nope.
no.
She has no stat block.
Oh, okay.
Let pull up Clan Book Zemichi real quick while you go into the next segment. So yeah, that's where he got that vicissitude from. So let's see who else we got. Let's see here. Page 67 is where they say Totentas was.
I did not have that page actually.
Let's see. No, this is it. I'm going through the old book right now.
Am I missing page 66 too? I think I am actually.
Oh, did I fuck up on mine I sent you?
I'm missing page 66.
No, I'm talking about 67 of the Zamichi clan book.
Okay.
Because this book, for whatever reason, didn't put Totentas as a character in it.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, it's because this is a little bit. Yeah, there's her page. Nope, she doesn't. Nah. Her stat block is okay. Oh, wait, we don't know how strong she is.
So that's up to the DM's discretion at that point.
Yeah, well, she's stronger than Himmler. That's the implication.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's a final boss.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
At least a semi-final boss. Like
this is your post game.
Yeah, Himmler is one thing, but you put Totentaz as a final boss, you're gonna remember that.
A Nazi Zamichi.
Yep.
That's
like
like
bang to
evil
base.
cubed.
Under attack by commie Nazis.
See,
Hold on, let me
Graham,
bring-
do you think you could take her?
Obviously.
Yeah,
Obviously.
buddy. That's my boy
This
right
is
there.
the same man that beat Malkav.
That is
Yeah,
true.
My
He did
bet
beat
would
Malkav.
be on Graham. My money would be on Graham.
Yeah, put mine too.
Yep.
See, do
Two
we have
bottle
other
caps and a
do we have any other vampire to talk about?
Let me see here. I thought I had one more that I needed to talk about. Well, I mean,
Is it adventure?
we've
Yeah.
already talked about
3
Wilhelm
ruble
Waldberg.
Russian 1938 on Graham. Nice.
Oh, here's one. The Sabbat are kind of weak in this book, not as in strength, but just in characterization. The only one I felt like talking about, because we already talked about Gustav and Wilhelm at length at this point, so I'm not going to go over them.
Yes.
Is Beauregard Köhler. He's a native German, lived there until he was 5, and, when the mess started in Berlin and the rest of in Hitler and the Nazis came to power, his parents thought leaving the country would be a good idea. And they fled through Europe and eventually made their way to America. And by the time the war ended, Beauregard wanted to be like Jack Benny or Bob Hope and wanted to be a comedian. The only problem was, he's not all that funny. He went to every nightclub he could
Arthur
find.
Fleck.
Yeah. He went to every nightclub he could find in New York, and he listened to every comedian in the city, waiting for something that could elevate him and teach him how to make a proper laugh. And then he realized he attempted to keep the audience laughing and failed. But for the next 3 years, he went on countless stages and countless audiences, but he never could do it. But then he found out, what if he stayed in the crowd and insulted the people on the stage? And then people laughed with him, and it was exhilarating. It was everything he could have ever wanted. And then it was also where his sire decided to embrace him. After devastating the crowd, after heckling his way through a dozen amateur comedians, a beautiful woman showed before him and liked the fact that he could appreciate art. And he could do just that with what she had. And she asked him to come home with him, and he did because, well, that's what you do. And, they made love for hours. He went to sleep in her arms, and then he awoke in a dark, confined area. And, at first he was panicking, but then he was just hungry. And, then once he figured out where he was in a coffin filled with dirt. And when he finally got out of the hole, there she was. And in her arms were his parents. And there were a lot of people around too. But evidently he fed on his own parents and learned a lot about the Sabbat.
Hey.
She never told him her name.
Siren practices.
What?
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, she never
Say it
told him her name. But the book lists it as Mary the Mad Chainsaw Mama Blake was the one who embraced him.
That is a fabulous name.
It sounds
I
trustworthy.
Badass name, not gonna lie.
And
I said average Sabbat siren practicing.
basically, yes. Remember when we said earlier during Operation Paperclip when the U.S. government realized that the Tremere had embraced Heinrich Himmler and brought him to America so he could spill all the information that he knew on vampires?
Yeah.
Evidently, Heinrich Himmler got some time to just kind of walk around in America, and he met this guy. He met Beauregard and went, "You should come back to Germany with me and start another Reich." And he went, "You know, that sounds like a fucking Wizzo idea." And why would he think that? Because he's a Malkavian anti-tribu.
There he is.
He now serves as Heinrich Himmler's
Oh,
unofficial
come
court
on,
jester.
brother. You've got to be kidding me.
You're
brother.
Oh, goodness gracious.
This is how Nick Fuentes converts your average man into the Groypers.
Oh, goodness gracious. Now I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, here, just send me your address, just send me a picture of your driver's license, just take a picture with me, guess what, you're in.
So yeah, that was the last one I want to talk about. All the rest are Nazis. Except for,
Yeah.
so we had 2 Nazis, an anti-fascist, and somebody that doesn't give a fuck.
There it is. But behold, Wolfenstein, the vampire game.
Yeah,
That would be
but
pretty
with less
cool.
cool techno-Nazi shit
Literally.
to shoot at. Just regular
True.
Nazis.
I mean, that'd be
should
okay
run
as
a
well.
campaign where every splat is just gunning for Himmler's butt.
That would be funny.
It's like your average communist looking for Mikhail Gorbachev.
You have like a cross chronicle where a vampire, a werewolf, changelings, mummies, a demon, a hermetic mage, and a technocratic agent all going right for Himmler.
Yep. He's a reality
Well,
demon.
I am
He's
not
bringing banality. He's a servant of the worm. He's destroying the Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We got-
literally all these splats just set their differences aside for it's
For
like
one
Smash
night
Bros.
just to kill Heinrich Himmler.
We just need this one man dead. It's like a Bali appearing in a neighborhood again.
Basically, everybody just
Yep.
drops what they're doing and just gangs up
okay.
to kill him.
Good to talking. I'm Heinrich Himmler.
But I don't like Heinrich Himmler, so we all have to work together to kill Heinrich Himmler. It's all fair.
It's the
Yep.
goal. So Ryan,
Yo,
would you be up for an Inglourious Bastards vampire game?
of course.
Yeah. That's the idea for a chronicle I'm getting with Berlin by Night, where the idea that you're a bunch of either deranged British allies or deranged Americans, that the war never ended in your mind because you're embraced during this period, and you gotta go into Berlin and try to liberate it.
We're doing one
so to
thing,
speak.
and one thing only: killing Nazis.
And there's going to be plenty of those. To be honest, they're still around.
You're telling me my
Bingo! Well, I had a different idea.
you're telling me my nickname is Lil Man?
I was actually surprised to see how tall you were in person. You could make a fucking Christopher Waltz vampire, or Christopher Waltz Mulcahy.
Yeah, tell the plan how to get close to him.
Okay, I thought about dressing up as SS with forged Nazi documents saying we are with the members or with the SS or Swords of Heimdall or Swords of Heimdall kinfolk. And we are here to liberate the glorious German Reich for the fatherland, to bring back Nazi Germany, and then just gank his ass.
Yes.
Yeah, like a sub-espionage mission or something like that.
Just
Hell
Wolfenstein the old blood. It's like, okay, we need to, or what if we lean more on like the occult shit and like the spirit destiny and shit actually exists.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
Mage
along
Ascension.
the lines of mage stuff, yeah.
I mean, but still,
you've solved the codus. What I'm going to do with Mage Ascension 1936.
Oh, the spirit destiny.
Yeah, you figured out what I'm going to do with it.
Oh, dude, hold on. That means I have to play as fucking Gertie Kaminsky.
Yes.
As just a youth Thanatos working for the OSS to try and find the spirit destiny before the Nazis can use it.
Fuck, I would
That'd
love
be
to
cool
part
as
of
shit.
that.
That plays the Death Wizard. What other WW2 stuff do we like? You see, the cool part about the Chronicle here is that we're coming up with more World War II ideas than anything else.
I mean, in all honesty,
when you think of Germany, there's not really a lot that comes up that isn't World War II.
Well, in all honesty, if you really want to mix splats, I think a Cold War Berlin game would offer a lot more versatility for that. Because think about it. You got the Shadow Lords running the Stasi in East Berlin. You've got, during the daytime at least, and also fighting with the fascists in East Berlin. And, you've got the Bundeswehr in West Berlin.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity for some real good Vice stuff in 1980s Berlin. I think that'd be an incredible session.
Yeah, so I'm thinking too, you remember Rudolf von Stroheim and JoJo?
No.
Yes, the cyborg German.
Manga!
He
Kanasaki Kaiichi! I hope I didn't
discovered
butcher that.
He discovers the Pillar Men in Mexico, and it goes back to Europe and gets the other Pillar Men out. And that's essentially what a Zamichi and a Zamichi Elder looks like. What their powers can do. And
then died in Stalingrad.
Yeah. He blows himself up trying to fight Santana,
right.
and then he comes back, fully Wolfenstein, where his entire body sans, like his head and his chest is mechanical. And he's got this heavy machine gun in his guts that he uses to blow a hole through cars. Who's I guess in this game's term as a Zamichi Elder, and almost wins the fight by himself until he runs out of bullets. But you can have guys like that where you bring the New World Order and Iteration X into the game, and you've got Gustav looking over and saying, "Oh, who are these guys rebuilding the Reich, but with robots instead? What's going on here? Somebody leave me out of the loop."
I just love playing the
Nazi
Major.
robots.
Honestly, you know what? That'd actually be kind of cool now that you think about it, because you have the New World
The
Order.
Major from House.
No,
The New World Order versus the Old World Order.
Well,
Pretty much
either
fighting
that,
the Ukraine and the Iron Circle.
Yeah.
Well, actually, who would the New World Order help? Would they help Heinrich Himmler, or would they help Wilhelm or Gustav?
They'd want the project to be under their banner.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
if anything, they'd probably Palpatine that shit.
They would probably betray Himmler and take over the movement for themselves.
They're to take all of his knowledge, take all of his research, and then just use it to their own advantage.
Exactly.
If anything, they'd probably burn all of Himmler's stuff because it's considered reality deviance. If anyone wanted his research, it would be the Hermetics. Yeah. They'd probably go for him more hard than anyone else.
Yeah, the Hermetics were not the heroes that they were supposed to be.
No.
And think about other spots. Changing to dreaming is just surviving banality in this kind of thing. Just don't die of boredom.
Well, no, all you need to go to West Berlin and just listen to some Kraftwerk, and you're fine.
We're up to Apocalypse. How many Silent Striders want a piece of Himmler?
Oh,
a lot.
Yes.
I believe they have at least one. They probably have a freaking schedule of at least once a month. If any Silent Strider is passing through Berlin, just take a shot at him. Just try and get out of there quick, but take a shot at him. You never know.
I'm imagining a plotline like New Order, where you play as a group of werewolves that are trying to sneak in and get this one guy.
Yep.
And of course, because it's werewolf, you gotta make the enemy super deadly and super strong.
But you just
like those mech gorillas.
Yeah. You just go in with that. You have the whole train scene where the guy is in front of you, but you can't kill him just yet.
Oh yeah, and they're talking to you about pure bloodlines and shit. Yeah. Fucking
they're fingering themselves in front of you.
What the fuck was her name? How did I forget her?
Frau
name?
Engel.
Yeah.
How did you forget her? How did you forget her? She's the best part of that game.
She is. It's been a minute since I played Wolfenstein.
She comes back in New Colossus and she's even better.
She's
just
definitely
got an idea
more
for that
evil
setting.
in New Colossus, which does
she's
help.
Straight up evil.
So,
see,
that scene with the two mech gorillas?
Yes.
Have it where you have to choose which of your NPC allies has their brain replaced with a ghoul's brain and fights you.
That might be interesting too. It's you just
get force embraced.
Yeah.
And they swap brains. So now you have to fight that former NPC packmate.
Bro, that's a fucking brilliant idea.
We will make Fergus, we'll make him a Fianna, and then Wyatt will be a child of Gaia.
I don't know. No, Wyatt still fights though.
Yeah, but he's drugged out of his mind.
Only in the New Colossus.
Yeah, in the New Colossus, yeah. You didn't pick Wyatt when you played the game.
No, well, I did in the New Order because I'm thinking like, well, Wyatt's got his whole life ahead of him, and Fergus has been fighting as long as I have, and so like give the kid a chance to maybe like try and fix the future. Like, no, it doesn't happen, but like when I first played it, that was the thought process.
Because I was imagining more like a member of like the imminent strike of the patient deed.
Yeah, imminent strike would make most sense for Wyatt.
And see, this thing about all like the stuff in the game, like you got Caroline. Where would you put her? Get Fenris?
Caroline would be Get Ephemeris, yeah.
Yeah, because
Is she the one with all the
sitting in a bag
technology?
living.
Yeah, silver hair, and they kill her off immediately in New Colossus,
which kind of sucks because she's such a good character.
Like we wanted to see so much more of her. Like it gets you to hate Frau Engel, but at the same time, damn it, we want more of her.
Yep.
Ugh.
I don't know. They give you Frau Engel's fat daughter instead.
They gave you Sigrun. She's got the sex scene with Bombette.
Which honestly, based Bombate, he's got good taste.
See, I'm sorry. Do you need this?
Sorry, do you need this
fat daughter.
Yes, motherfucker.
I will say though that I think Bombate did influence me when I was making Kendi quite a bit.
You saw him and you had the sexual awakening when you saw the scene.
No, that was long before that. But no, I'm just saying, just like for Kendi's character in Russia, I was thinking it was like I want to port Kip to the game, but I also want to make him like a bit more self-assured. And I was thinking like friggin' Bombate, who's like that was Wolfenstein's bro, or that was Blasco's bro in Wolfenstein: The New Order. I'm like, hell yeah.
There was an alternate reality where you would have been playing the Max Haas werewolf instead.
Just a Metis that's got like half his head missing.
Yeah, that's it. You just say your name and you just go in and win every fight. You roll nothing but 10s.
Max Haas!
Oh my god, imagine
love Max.
Imagine if the brains got swapped.
Brain swap. We gave you a brain transplant?
Yeah. No, that's what the villain's gonna do if you ever do that.
You can just talk to Zamichi about it. They can swap your brain out with someone else.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one of those choices, you know, the one with the mech gorillas. They swap out the brain of the packmate with one of their minions.
I've been telling Energeron this. You just need to increase the size of your brain. It'll make you smarter.
Just eat a lot of fish.
I'm sure that's how that works.
You need more brain. You see the Psychers in Warhammer 40k and the Tyranid Psychers in the game. They have large brains.
They actually
need more brain.
They did that in an episode of a panel of Calvin and Hobbes. It was a weekend strip.
Yeah.
Actually, intelligence is more defined by neuron density, not overall size. So if you have
imagine how dense the brain would be if it was also large.
How do we increase neuron density then?
Just give me more brain. I'll be smarter.
Make your neurons divide.
See, Rose, you were just here a second ago. Where'd you go?
Pick up the cat.
Put
the cat on the mic.
The real star of the show.
If this cat had more brain, she'd be more smart.
Have you ever seen that video of like the kid who's playing Roblox and he's like, I'm gonna put my cat on the mic and just starts fucking screaming into the microphone, just meow. All the guy is yelling, it's like,
I can't speak my own thoughts, motherfucker!
Oh my god, it's a classic fucking video.
Hunter the Reckoning, I think we know where they would go with Werewolf the Apocalypse, with the setting.
They would get their shit pushed in, is what would happen. There's so many fucking ghouls and so many Kindred in Berlin. Any hunter that shows up is just going to immediately get fucking slacked. It's incredible.
And when you're reading that section...
backed up by werewolf, with other splats, like werewolves and vampires that don't like the Nazi vampires.
Mm-hmm. You bring in the Anarchs to solve the problem for you.
I'm gonna be honest, like I love Vancouver Dark Alliance just because I like when werewolves and vampires get along. I just think it's fun.
And
I love begrudging allies.
Be friends. Why can't we be friends?
I like them as ghouls.
We can't be friends because one of your clans is planning on taking over the world, and you take over you are the Carpathian Mountains. The other side is talking to the demons of hell.
Yeah, but those are those two specific ones. I didn't do anything.
I didn't hear no answer
Hey,
to
I'm
that
just
question.
being a schizophrenic mad chillin'.
Would you get along with a Bruja?
And I believe
I
with the
seem
glove.
to
Brouhaha
very
can't get
well,
along
in
with the
fact,
Brouhaha.
but I think it was the only reasonable Brouhaha in a 50-mile radius.
Yes.
I think that's lowballing it a bit.
So
Let's
you're
say
not
I
getting along with the
believe a little more.
Schmear. You're not getting along with the
Gaia
Giovanni.
as well as werewolves do as well.
Yes.
He does have a point over there. I got a piece of God in me, and it goes meep meep. I do not know why it makes that sound. Meep.
That's because
The
it's funny.
schizophrenia. And when you were doing that Jekyll and Hyde section,
Yes.
the first thing that came to my mind was Demon the Fallen. When you talked about
Really?
the gods. Because Asmodeus, Belial, and all the other big demon princes were using the identity of pagan gods to increase their influence. And,
yeah. I
and
thought that was
sacrifices
the fucking fairies doing that.
Yeah, it was the Puka were doing that, but then the DTF demons came in after Set killed most of them while they were trying to overthrow him.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's got me thinking, if you run this game and like Jekyll ends up summoning you and you play as a group of Faustians for the game. So boom, imagine where your game is going to go with that.
That's kind of freaky.
You got two different vampire cults, the Final Reich and the other vampires, the West Berlin Camarilla, who are both venerating you under different purposes.
That's
where you gonna
gotta be
go.
weird. Like, just three factions trying to win the favor of demons.
Yes, it is. You get to decide which child do you love the most.
I mean, it depends on
I was
what.
gone for a
Depends on what kind of
second. What
demon
did I
you are.
miss?
I feel like the cryptics would like the Garrow
Which
most.
one prays to me hardest?
And of course, you can end up playing Luciferians, and of course, the entire map plot's gonna be driven to Lucifer in that case.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe Jekyll and Hyde knows where he is.
Probably,
let's see
actually.
here.
He's very
Can you point-
intelligent.
Can you show me where the enemy is?
Yeah, probably for the right
You
price.
just circle the entirety of Germany.
Yeah.
There's the enemy, as
So-
it has been for several hundred years.
So it's just the entire country. Yes. Fuck
And-
me. I'm going home.
And I'm going to drop a bombshell at the very end of the video, and I'm not going to elaborate further.
Uh-oh.
In the plot line that is in the back of Berlin by Night, Caine plays a direct part in that story.
I
What?
beg your pardon?
That Caine, yes.
Why?
Yeah. Well, apparently we have found Caine. He's been in Berlin this entire time.
Caine
He's-
will Hitler
How the fuck did he get there?
I don't know. You talk to the man. You ask him when you find him.
He just looks at you like, I don't even know how I got here myself. I just went to bed. I woke up in here. What the fuck are all these things
Caine
exploding?
can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's Caine.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
In like towards like the end of like chapter 2 is when he gets brought up by name. So,
Oh my god.
Yeah, so if you want your plot to involve Caine, I guess we gotta go to Germany to find him.
So, like, quite literally, what would happen if you were to give the body of Caine your vitae?
If you get the curse originates from him. You can't bond this man.
Well,
That's
no, but if
dividing
you were
by
to give him
0.
something to get him out of torpor.
Oh, he's not in torpor. He's been walking around this entire time.
Can I have
Yeah, he's
some
fine.
Caine's blood?
He's just
He's fine.
walking around Germany at night.
Yeah, he's never gone to torpor.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's the original wandering Jew.
Yeah, so
Literally.
I've been telling you, like,
Is that it?
Caine's forced to be an almighty bystander. He sees this stuff going on, and yet he can't do anything about it.
He's
'Cause-
Caine!
Yeah, he can't do anything about it until Gehenna comes around.
What the fuck?
So he's here. He's in the book.
So you could just go
Well,
out
I
and just have a
think
beer
you'll
with
find-
Caine.
You found the ultimate, the dad who went out for a pack of cigarettes and never came back game.
He walked into Berlin and he looked around. He went to a pub and he said, "Wow, this place is awesome."
It's like, oh, they got good beer here. I like
think
this
he
place.
has a teeth kicking in Rhoda, or he's gonna find Himmler and kick his teeth when Gehenna happens.
Yeah, because
Honestly,
What the
that'd be
fuck is
really
this
funny.
Tremere shit?
it's
They did
true.
what?
Yeah, 6 million
You
of them.
what?
It's-
They go and kick Himmler's teeth in with some good old father-son beatings.
Yeah, That'd be funny as shit. It's like if you like roll a D100 one night and you just happen across Caine in a bar, and you're like, bro, you know what kind of shit been going on to Jewish people since you left?
Right. So
what's a Jew?
Let's see what
I'm Jewish, Himmler.
I'm hazy on what page number this is, but
85.
All right. Reading directly from the book. This scene occurs in a church, but with the mood drastically changed. The air is changed with fear, as Caine, followed by his retainers, into the hall of the church. The retainers are powerful built twin brothers. Both are albinos, pale white skin color with snowy white hair. The scene is no drama to the scene, unless somebody is foolish enough to attack Caine. If anyone with Auspex attempts to read Caine's aura, they are typically blinded by a painful white aura as bright as the noonday sun. And he has dialogue in this book, where looks over. I have observed the passing of millennia and done nothing to interfere with the lives of my get. That too is over. From this moment on, there is no Camarilla, there is no Sabbat, there is only Kindred. No longer will I allow the foolish leaders who believe me gone to wage their jihad against one another, using my people as pawns. You who have paid with your souls for my sins will now be freed from the manipulations of my breed and the breed of my breed. We will walk as one. We will rule this. Turn the page. World, the Caine have thought us legends for too long. They have no concept of what we can do. They have grown weak with their arrogance and complacency. So he's here.
You son of a bitch.
fuck.
I'm in.
He's here.
In all honesty, I think that's the most based ending to Vampire the Masquerade ever.
And he has two vampires with him, Tristan and Travis. Their nature fanatic, demeanor fanatic, willpower 9, humanity 5, embraced in 1000 BC, strength 5, dexterity 5, stamina 5, charisma 3, manipulation 3, appearance 2, perception 5, intelligence 5, wits 5, alertness 4, athletics 4, brawl 5, dodge 5, intimidation 5, firearms 5, melee 5, security 5, stealth 5, survival 5, Kindred lore 5, linguistics 5, occult 5, celerity 2, fortitude 4, potence 5, protein 2.
Fucking broken. Yeah. They're Gen 2.
There we go.
Holy shit.
And he's just traveling around with these two guys.
It's just like they're just his bros. They're just hanging around with him. Don't worry about it.
They're not even embraced, by the way.
What?
They're ghouls.
What?
They're ghouls.
They're ghouls.
Ghouls. That's what Caine's ghouls can do.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the absolute monstrosities they'd be if they were fully embraced? You don't even have to bother statting them.
He knows that mistake. He ain't gonna do that again.
So what the fuck could Caine do?
What he's gonna...
Good.
You should ghoul some Garu instead.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
And make a brand new game doing that.
What the fuck would happen if the Elder got a hold of Caine?
If the eldest got a hold of it?
Yes.
But if Caine would do something, then he could prevent the world from being destroyed by the eldest.
In all honesty, I prefer that.
I mean, from the sound of the book, it sounds like some shit's gonna go down after this one.
Yeah, this sounds like a pretty linchpin point in the plot of Vampire the Masquerade.
This is basically his fine, I'll do it myself Thanos moment.
The three interleavings that could kill Caine reasonably would be the eldest, who just merges him to his biomass, Lasombra, who just drags him to hell, and Set, who's almost on the same level of power as him. And that's it. Hakim fought him to a draw, but could not get the kill. And Tremere theoretically could, but Tremere needs to get to drop on Caine to do that.
He would have to get lucky.
Yeah.
Plus, we're also factoring in Salat, who might fuck him over in that.
Oh no! In fairness, foul, Salat immediately sides with Caine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Salat just wouldn't do that.
Wait, so did we actually confirm if Salat was actually a good guy or not?
Apparently, in the Gehenna book, the writer that says that sweeps for Salat says he's good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, good by vampire standards, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think any vampire could theoretically be good.
Between the 13 evils, he's the lesser of them.
I mean,
he's like closest to the good.
I'm most certainly trying.
So can you imagine this? You're playing your vampire game, and then you just walk into a scene, and Caine just happens to be there.
Jesus Christ!
I would shit myself.
This will be
hi, kids.
thinking of Bloodline. Okay.
Just make him sound like Flanders. Oakley Doakley,
How do
my
they
voice.
fight rhinos?
Yes, he does. God damn, the most feared person in World of Darkness. He just sounds like Flanders.
That's fucking insane.
Is that then does Sabat just look at each other thinking this is the guy we based our entire legacy on?
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Oakley
and
Doakley,
then, like,
Sabotarinos.
and somebody's like, "Well, this is ridiculous. You seem nothing like," and then just gets evaporated. Stiddly, Italy.
All right.
Oh my god.
My golly gosh, he shouldn't have done that.
It's got me thinking like if we
Hey,
had a
neighborhood, doodly doodle.
you done diddly done for. It's got me thinking like if you decide you want to just do something crazy in Ridge Coast Appalachia, we go into a bar in West Virginia and Caine just happens to be there.
No. If anything, you have a better chance of running into running into Anoia, if anything.
Anoia. Oh no.
I mean, like, you're Garrow. You're gonna be wandering out in the woods, and I mean, like, there's mountains for miles. So.
Yep.
Just
Oh yeah, lesbian porn. Let's go.
What?
What?
Yeah, Noia with Gaia. Noia X Gaia, baby.
And also them.
I thought you were going to rub his road in this for a minute.
Titties.
I mean, no, it's just like you're walking through the wood. You just see like this sort of humanish looking woman, and like you can't really describe what she looks like. And then she just is.
And then the ground opens up beneath you and devours you.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
What the hell was that?
Just
a planet.
Power.
It's like ends the road, like goes to launch a punch. She just sinks into the ground, and it's just her head sticking above it.
Time to die, Falvet. The mouth opens up and.
I love the soundboard so much.
So
Keep it up,
right,
please.
we got through all the topics. We've gone all through the content. We got nothing else to talk about. That's the end of the episode.
This
All
episode was a fucking barrel of laughs. Good lord.
Yeah.
Ironic considering the topic.
Yeah, sensitive topic.
We kind of needed that as ballast.
We talk about Carnal Houses of Europe, the Shoah.
Okay. Good
We're
night,
not
everybody.
We're not talking about that book for a while. The next episode we're going over is going to be easy. We're going to do Rite of Passage.
Yep.
What's that one
basically,
about?
How do you
Well,
how
what
do
do
you
you think
be
it's about?
really good at being a werewolf?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm interested.
I might have to drop in for that one. I have a newbie werewolf in my
Call
chronicle.
Shani about that because she's got her spot reserved. All right.
Okay.
And also glory to Anoia and Gaia.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That's...
I can just imagine
Like
End the
Werewolf
Road
is
getting
episode-
swallowed by the ground and then like dry humping it.
What?
Yep.
Go
If
find
she's
a
gonna
tree.
fuck anything, it's
tree
gonna be
fucker.
Gaia.
No, shut that shit off right fucking now, Story.
And with that, we
All
should
right,
probably
that's
end
fine.
it.
I
Good
promise.
night, everybody.
You get GS.
Have a good night.
All right.